Superspeedway Kings brings truck racing to Talladega for Friday Night Thunder. Watch some of the best competitors iRacing has to offer. Take on the high banks of Dega and try to avoid the big one. Watch 40 drivers take on the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway to compete for cash prizes and bragging rights. All brought to you tonight by the Superspeedway Kings and the one-stop shop graphics designers.
All right, welcome everybody to a Friday Night Thunder here on the IWM Broadcast Network. We are live in Talladega for a Superspeedway Kings one-stop shop event. We've got two races tonight. The first one is starting in the next 17 minutes with qualifying, and then on to race 2. This is a big money race. We've got some great drivers, and we are excited to be here. I'm Rick Souza, here with my co-host, John Drudris. And John, this is going to be a blast.
It's going to be fun. If you know anything about iRacing and money races, you know that there's a lot of stress, a lot of chaos, but it's very entertaining racing because, especially in the second race, we have even bigger payouts than that one. And it's always, everybody just going for it at all times, knowing that, they got to get themselves out front. You saw in that intro commercial, if you haven't already, go back and watch it. There was some 3-wide action, a lot of 3-wide action, and that's what I anticipate tonight, especially at Talladega in these trucks. They're stable, and they can go 3-wide. You may even see 4-wide with some of the drivers that we have already lined up in this lineup. A great field of drivers. I mean, absolutely star-studded field here tonight, and all I got to say is hold on, because it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, that's part of the benefit of these types of races. It really attracts not only those guys who are just interested in super speedway racing, but also those guys that they're the veterans, they're the experts. This is what they live for, what they enjoy doing, and putting them in the truck platform, super stable. And as you said, we'll see 3-wide. We could see 4-wide at times. And we're just watching right now as these guys are practicing. There's still 16 minutes left to practice here, but they're out there really putting it, working hard, developing, and figuring out with this wide range of drivers is who they can work with. I mean, right now, John, my count's over 40 drivers.
Yeah, it's a big field. It's definitely over 40, all positions paid, and it's going to be a wild, wild ride. Rick, do you want to talk about some of these payouts really quick, just to give people people an idea about how much is actually on the line here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now with this is race 1, and if you win this race, if you come in second, it's still the same payout. You're making $200 for 30 laps worth of work, and then all the way down to fifth, it pays out still $100. But then we go over to race number 2. Race number 2, your winner and second place finisher, $300 for those positions, and then even fifth still pays out $123.
Yeah, it's big dollars. If you do the math on that, in the first race you're making about $6 a lap, so about $6 every 50 seconds if there are no cautions. And in the second race, if you win or finish in second place, you're winning $10 every lap every 50 seconds, Rick. So it's going to be a wild one. As you can see, 21 going for a wild ride as well right there in the inside wall. But it's always exciting racing. Glad we're able to do this for the Super Speedway Kings, bringing back Friday Night Thunder, actually introducing Friday Night Thunder here on the IWM Broadcast Network. And so, we're seeing these guys make their way down pit road. Well, Rick, I think that's going to be a strategy play here tonight. They have 54% fuel, so that means that these guys are going to have to pit at some point in the race. And that means you need teammates. So this race is going to be full of probably a lot of shaking and baking and trying to figure out who to work with. With as many guys as we have here tonight, you're going to have some alliances, but you're going to have a lot of guys who are out here like, I want to try to get my stake at $200 or even $300 as a payout, which is, well worth the investment if you can actually finish up there in the top 2. So right now it looks like we are attempting to get this session fast forwarded a little bit just due to some timing with the second race. Not sure how far we are on that, but we do know that we do have 13 minutes left here in this practice, hopefully advancing that any time now to get on with qualifying, which is 1 lap qualifying, by the way.
So speaking of that, let's kind of go through just what is tonight and what we know about this race.
Absolutely. So 74 degrees air temperature, 115 track temp. So a little bit slick, but it's a super speedway, so not really going to matter too much. 30 laps, 1 quick repair, a limited sets of tires. Unless you slide through and get wrecked, you're probably not going to use that. But you have 50% fuel, 54% fuel, that is, so you will need to pit. And then 3 green-white checkers. And I would love to say that I'm going to place a pretty hefty bet, if I had to assume, that we may use one of those. With just the way these races go, the last 3 laps are probably going to be some of the most chaotic racing you've ever seen, but also some of the best racing you've seen and some of the most action-packed. So we're going to bring it all to you tonight here on the IWM Broadcast Network, so make sure to stay tuned. And don't go away after the first one. We may pause depending on when we have that second race start comparatively to the first race ending, Rick. But we will actually come back for race 2 and show you that race, which is going to be just after this one. So don't go anywhere. Second race, I think, may even be more entertaining because there's more money on the line.
Well, and there's also some, not every driver decided to do both races. So you got guys who pick and chose which race they wanted to be in. So I know that we've got even bigger names in the iRacing community coming for the second race as well. So super excited to see just who's out there and who's involved. Already just looking through some of the names and some of the guys that are in this race. There's some ringers in here, some guys who are very well known in the iRacing community. Really looking forward to seeing them get out there. They've got their teammates already. I'm sure that when you're coming in and you're the Cody Nagels of the world and others, already who you can work with and who you want to pair up with going out there.
Oh yeah, you have two mentalities. If you're one of those more well-known drivers, obviously higher I rating, more experience in higher skill leveled facilities in racing, that you are probably going to be one of the best bets out there. But also, for everybody else, you have a big old target on your back. Everybody's looking at you like, I'm going to come out and beat, the Cody Nagels or some of those other big names that we're going to see later in the race. It's in race number 2. And they're all going to have, targets on their back. Like, we can beat you guys, even if you do have higher I ratings than us. So, again, it's super speedway racing. Nothing is a given. What I do know is it's going to be crazy. It's going to be very entertaining racing, and we're going to get some three-wide action in both races for sure, Rick. So right now, it looks like we're not going to advance the session. Looks like some communication from the text channel over on the other side, and I do not believe that was the plan. So we will more than likely have 10 minutes left here in practice.
Well, I'm sure that our audience will be more than happy to listen to us ramble on as we watch these guys practice. So as we kind of look our way through the practice, there is a number of drivers who are on track right now, still trying to get some practice time in. But John, speaking of this event and tonight, you've got trucks. It looks like we're in just under daylight conditions. What do you think your keys to being successful on this track is tonight?
Tonight, I think really it's going to be out front. I know the pushes are going to be big, but I think you have to stay in front of the chaos, which means you have to be at the front of the field. You're going to have 40-plus guys battling for the same real estate. I would rather be up front and have to worry about, the guy that's pushing me versus being stuck in the middle or the back. So I think track position is going to be key. So basically qualifying. I think you have to qualify well. We know there's going to be chaos. There is a quick repair for a reason. It is super speedway racing, but I think track position will matter, especially when it comes to qualifying. The second thing, you have to get your alliances figured out, or you have to pit with other alliances you see if you don't have any. Because if you don't, you are going to be left behind. You're going to be left in the dust. And granted, you may have a caution come out. That is possibly likely. But if this does go green, which is also a likely occurrence as well, and you get out there all by yourself, Rick, you're going to be caught up in the dust. You can't go anywhere. You cannot drive this track and be competitive at all unless you have another guy with you or another couple trucks with you. So it's very important to master that, as well as some of these guys right now that I'm glad this is showing this, making sure you get on pit road safe. That is going to be another key, is making sure you don't slide through your box, you don't speed on pit road. Also, you don't run into anybody coming onto pit road. We've seen that not only at super speedways before in real life and on iRacing, we've seen that everywhere. Drivers coming in too hot, lock it up, run into the guy in front of them, they spin up the track, next thing you know there's a caution, or maybe some guys get to, beside each other on pit road, don't notice it, and spin each other out. So it's going to be a battle of attrition, even though there is 30 laps. I think it's going to be very chaotic, but you got to get to the front, you got to make friends, and you got to pit with the right guys at the right time because, again, no guarantees that there's a caution here tonight at Talladega. So those are my keys, and I think we got a lot of guys who are very good at that. I'm looking at some of the guys down through the field. There's a lot of big names, a lot of good names in the super speedway racing community out here tonight. You got Cody Nagels, we've mentioned him before. You got the McCulloughs, Kenneth and Joshua. They're always a part of, the super speedway style racing. Looking at, you have John Ward, Ambrose Niebel. You have all these guys out here.
You have Matthew Baker, seen him before with MVG.
Yep, you got, Dylan Jones. Yeah, absolutely. Looking through this field, it is a wide open field. And Colin, Bowden there, he is actually has a world championship license. So he is the highest ranked driver. Oh, there goes a 73, and we are wrecking. Tough hit. Well, you saw your first car get airborne tonight, guys. So there you go. We caught that before. We're just so good at that, Rick. We just catch all the wrecks.
Just sort of happens.
But Colin is a world championship driver. He has the world championship black license, which is above a Class A. So definitely want to look out for him there. But again, Matthew Baker, Cody Nagels, Dylan Jones, a lot of big names.
So just less than 6 minutes left here as we finish up this practice session. Then we'll move on to qualifying. Now here tonight, qualifying is just one lap. You've got one lap to get it in.
You gotta make sure that you have your stuff figured out. because you can't mess it up. And I think, we may see somebody from the back, win this race tonight. I don't think it's going to be due to track position. I think it's going to be chaos. But I think we may see somebody in the front, though, actually get the win. Now, the 73, very odd. It's like he didn't his car was sliding up the track out of the pits. We kind of caught that. It looks like it's just turning right.
That's
not really sure what's happening.
Caitlin Based, I believe that's...
Yeah, not really sure, but it's all figured out now. It's just practice. Oh, there goes the 59 around.
That's the way to get in hot, that's for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race. Got to settle in, though. It is 30 laps. So
speaking of that, though, it's only 30 laps. So really, if the race went green the whole way, that's less than 30 minutes of racing time. But so based on that fuel percentage that they've allotted these drivers, you're going to have to pit once.
Yep, you have to. And, we may see guys decide to do two different strategies here. See some guys coming in hot right now on pit road. You may see some guys take we're going to get it out of the way early and then try to battle back. Or you may see some guys take the later approach. I think you're going to see most guys take the later approach, try to run as long as you can just because of the numbers that are out there on the track. But, yeah, it's going to be, talking about patience, talking about the aggressiveness levels. You got to make sure that, again, you have what I like to call aggressive patience. Aggression and patience and aggression, all in whatever you want to call it in of itself. You got to take when you can and also give a little bit. That way you don't burn up your stuff, but you don't put yourself in a bad situation to not make it to the end of the race. So that's why, again, track position I think is going to be huge tonight in our not even the first race and the second race, all of them that we're going to be showing. So right now, Rick, 3.5 minutes until we get our qualifying session underway here for the Super Speedway Kings Friday Night Thunder. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in. And Rick, let me ask you this: what would your approach be for tonight's race? What approach would you take?
Well, we've all driven this track a lot in our iRacing careers. I think that you've got to be really good, as you mentioned, on qualifying. You've got to get up front. Now, interestingly enough, the funny thing is with a blend of the drivers that we have here, you really don't know what you're going to get. So you may have some guys that may not have as much experience, but they can qualify well, and they may be up at the front, but they may never have been in a group of drivers that are going to run 3 wide into turn 1 at Talladega, and they're used to holding it, and you may not. So, you've really got to. So there are drivers that are mixed in like that. If I know who I am thinking I'm going to qualify as best I can, but if I see potentially a lot of drama happening right away, it's still 30 laps. I may back out, cycle to a safer position, kind of still in the draft, but maybe back so I can anticipate what's going to happen in front of me, and then make a move probably with about 15 laps to go. Really,
you see a lot of guys try to take that strategy.
Yeah, really after that first, if it winds up being there's a part of me that says this is not going to be a green flag pit stop, but my heart of hearts says, let's hope for that. But you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, one miscalculated push, and the whole field's around. So it's definitely going to be a battle of inches here tonight. But the thing is, you can see these guys right now. You're looking at the 15 there, in the 7 of Hunter Parsons, the 15 battling, and they're pushing in the 01 as well. So you have the ability to push. That's Joshua McCullough there in the 01. So you have the option to push, and you can push. And these guys know that they can do that. I mean, I've raced with some of these guys in this exact truck, and it's awesome because they know this truck in and out. They know what you can do, what you can't do. Now, I know we are showing this as Ryan Newman, I don't think that's the actual Ryan Newman. It would be great if it was. If
Well,
it is,
I'm sure
hello
it
Ryan.
is.
Thank you for
I'm
joining
sure
us.
it is Ryan Newman, but not just maybe a different Ryan Newman.
Different Ryan Newman, yes. But right here we're seeing these two drivers push each other, and so that's going to be a big factor tonight in tonight's race. And also going back to what you said about dropping to the back, that does take a little bit of an art to do. You've got to figure out, okay, how far back do I drop? How far do I need to stay in front of the guy that's behind me? How far do I need to stay behind the guy that's in front of me so I can see the wreck? Because it's one thing to move to the back in preservation. It's another thing to do it in a way where you can actually avoid the wreck in front of you and also possibly advance your way up through the field and give yourself enough time to do that. So there's going to be a mixed bag, but we're about to find out exactly who's going to take tonight's pole and who's going to be able to lead this field to green here as qualifying is underway. We have 5 minutes of qualifying, 1 lap, so you got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's and make sure you dot your T's and your I's. Cross your T's. You don't dot your T's. You cross your T's and dot your I's. And make sure that is all set, ready to go. So I'm looking right now, you got probably about a third of the field that is currently in the pits. I'm curious if you're going to see some guys not even try to qualify.
You may see that too.
Yeah, because which is a whole other strategy in and of itself.
Yeah, because everybody has paid for a position, so they're in it no matter what. And if you don't qualify and get out there, then iRacing basically ranks you by iRating, so you'll wind up. So if you've got a good iRating and you're not worried about being up at the front right away, you can kind of hang back. We're watching Cody Nagel, so we were able to bring you one driver at a time in qualifying. We can see, but they're all out on the track, but a good bit around the track right now qualifying. So we may flop to another driver. We will bring up best times to see in the tower to see just exactly where we are when times begin to roll in, and that tower will begin to populate itself. Now again, it's only 1 lap, so you get out on the track. You've got a warm-up lap to get you out there to cross the start-finish, and then the next time by, that's your time.
That's it. That's where you're going to start. So 42-car field. I just counted that manually. Did not want to count it, but I did. It looks, or maybe down to a 41-car field, or somebody may have advanced already. But it looks like we have a full 40-plus car field here tonight in race 1. Not sure about race 2.
I think it
may be bigger.
I think it's. I think they're both sold out.
Yep. So full races there. So it's going to be incredible to watch. But here we are. We're about to see this leaderboard populate on the left side of the screen. Tim White up there. Hunter Parsons in second. You see Alex Hill.
Lots of times.
And here we go. A lot of times. You got about a tenth and a half separating first and last right now, and you're going to start to see that discrepancy possibly increase a little bit or decrease from the top couple. I mean, looking at this right now, oh, wow. Dylan and Cody, same exact lap time. Dylan was a little bit faster.
Yeah, and we only show it out to the 1,000, but they iRacing, I'm sure, has that out farther, and they're just giving us the current placement. So that's a smoking time for a single car lap on this track. And interestingly enough, which you'll see, once you happen to be in a pack, they qualified at 55.328, but we'll expect to see times there in the 50 mark.
Yeah, maybe, I would even entertain possibly
49.
the high 49s, just due to the magnitude of the racing. So we'll see what happens. Right now, your top 10 currently separated by 0.02 of a second. So that's incredible there. Basically identical lap times. I mean, barely anything separating 55.328 into 55.348. Absolutely nothing separating that at all. So right now we have about 31 cars that have made their way around Talladega Superspeedway. We are going to be getting a few more drivers on this leaderboard, but Rick, that may kind of solidify it because we have under a minute left of qual, and it's way too late to go out now. You cannot get a lap in, no matter what you say, unless you've hit the line before really right at the 4-minute mark. You will not have enough time to make a lap. So Devin is going to be on the cusp of finishing this lap. He may be able to get it done with that 2 machine. Currently 35 cars have come down. There's Tom Dixon coming out of turn 2. He will not be able to complete this lap. And it doesn't look like he's attempting to. Or maybe he is.
There's about 7 drivers who may or may not. Let's watch Devin. I don't think he's going to get it in.
He got it. Jumped all the way up to 11th.
All right. So that ends our qualifying. And so we've got a starting order.
We do. Alrighty, let the fun begin here with the Super Speedway Kings Friday Night Thunder lineup. Race number 1. Dylan Jones rounds out your starting first, and with Cody Nagels in second. Alex Hill in third. John Ward in fourth. Kenneth McCullough there in fifth. Vincent Guerrero in sixth. Matt Baker in seventh with Logan York, who is outside in eighth. Colin Bowden in ninth. And 10th, rounding out your top 10, John Mollahan.
All right. In 11th, Devin Ray. Josh McCullough is in 12th. In 13th, Christopher McCullough. 14th, J.R. Miller. 15th is David Sheets. Kenneth Stamper is in 16th. Sean Corbett is in 17th. Samuel S. Carter is in 18th. Tom Dixon is in 19th. And Trevor Aswarnoff is in 20th.
In 21st, you have William Rice. Mark Vondel there in 22nd with Adam Kilday there in 23rd. Richard Elliott in 24th. In 25th, you have Bobby Forbes starting in 26th. Tim White. 27th, Ryan Newman. In 28th, Jeremy Osborne. 29th, Caitlin Based. And in 30th, Hunter Parsons.
Dean Grob is in 31st. Cole Larson is in 32nd. Ambrose Nebel is in 33rd. Wesley Phillips is in 34th. Steve Barnett is in 35th. Joey Galati is in 36th. In 37th, you've got Kevin Bernheimer in 38th. Joshua McKinney in 39th. Stephen Gregory. Casey Gross is in 40th. Johnny Thunders is in 41st. And Chad Lancaster is in 42nd. So if we butchered your names, we apologize in advance. But we'll do our best to keep you up to date and do our best at pronouncing your names. We wish all the drivers the best possible luck tonight, and we will be underway. The pace car is beginning to get this humongous field of 42 drivers. That is just a fabulous sight.
Amazing sight to see.
To watch 42 drivers roll off onto Talladega. A little bit of tire spin there.
Looking at that racing surface, that's going to be vastly utilized tonight. The real estate's going to be few and far between here at Talladega. Just to give a little bit of insight, I know you probably heard me say Ryan Newman. No, that is not the actual Ryan Newman. I confirmed. As much as we wish it could have been. No offense to you, Ryan Newman, who's watching this. We're excited to have you in the race. We had some questions. We had no clue, so I had to do my research. That Ryan Newman that is in the race is not the NASCAR Ryan Newman. But glad to have him as well as all these guys out here tonight for race 1 and race 2. So, again, if you're watching live, make sure to watch race 2. That's going to be happening right after the Super Speedway Kings Friday Night Thunder race number 1 here on the IWM Broadcast Network. Bigger payouts, huge name drivers in that race in a different field, a little bit of a different field there. We may have some guys trying to do double duty, but it's going to be primarily new field, I would assume. Haven't looked at the entry list yet, but what I do know is I've heard there's some big names, Rick, in race number 2, as well as what we have in race number 1.
Yeah, and we will see some drivers who have decided to run both tonight, but again, it's only 30 laps for big dollars, and so if you can spend a little to win big.
Yep, that sounds like Vegas. You can win it all, or you can win nothing. Go home.
That's it.
Go big or go home.
Well, and we'll see that towards the end of this race if you're going to push it all in.
You will see everybody's cards here tonight at Talladega as the field makes their way through this tri-oval, about to get to the Geico restart zone for our start of Friday Night Thunder here on the IWM Broadcast Network. Green flag in the air, led by the 39 of Dylan Jones. Cody Nagel, Alex Hill, McCullough, and John Ward lead the field down into turn 1.
All right, you'll see a lot of position changes as these laps come down. We're keeping an eye on the front here, but we'll scroll through the back as this race gets underway. Just like that, you saw the 77 drop down. Now,
so that is the 77 of Alex Hill. It says 24 in the tower, but it's the 77, right, Rick?
Yeah, I was about to say that. So it often happens here when we broadcast with race numbers. We're going to kind of ignore the tower to some extent and focus on what's painted on the drivers' cars. It depends on how it was set up within their iRacing as to how that gets painted, but it is what it is. So right now we've got the 6. I think that is Cody Nagels.
Yep, that is. So the 6 of Cody Nagels, the 77 of Alex Hill, the 92 is correct of John Ward, the outside line, the 39 of Dylan Jones there, the 03 of Kenneth McCullough, and then to the outside you have the 5 and the 40 of Logan York. Well, Logan York, the 40, Matthew Baker, and the 5. Rick, you're already starting to see some blocks going on. You're starting to see that outside line get some momentum and start to move up from the first car in the higher lane down to the bottom lane. And that's common here, especially at Talladega in these races. That outside line likes to get in front. Oh, a little bit of shuffling going on in the back, but they like to get out front, and then that first car likes to dive down and take the lead. Oh, a little bit of a block there from Dylan Jones.
I expect we'll see that a lot tonight, John.
Well, a lot of blocks and a lot of squirrely cars and big pushes is going to be the name of the game here at Talladega Superspeedway. We're a tenth of the way through this race, Rick.
Three laps down. Again, it's only 54% fuel that was done intentionally to force these drivers to have to make a pit, whether that's a pit stop, whether that's under green or yellow, but definitely they will have to pit and get more fuel.
And that 39 is blocking masterfully here early on in this race. There in a 39 machine.
I mean, really, you've got to do it. And that's only, you've got to block.
Yeah, and Rick, there hasn't really been too many big movers of the race. The biggest move of the race right now has actually been Ryan Newman in the 15 machine, up 4 spots. So, again, track position has been a big factor here. Here comes Wesley Phillips up through the field. I believe he is now currently up 8 spots.
Huge block. Now that's Kenneth McCullough Jr. that is now leading that lower line.
We have some guys definitely trying to make their way through. Wesley Phillips now up 9 spots there in 25th position, up from 34th. So 3 wide now going on in the back of the field. It's only a matter of time, Rick, before you see that third line start to form.
Got Chad Lancaster, who's currently on pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled stop or not. But there will be a point at which you will have to get fuel. So 03, that is Kenneth McCullough Jr. He's got the low line behind him, the 5. That's Matthew Baker. The 39 of Dylan Jones is up there leading that outside line.
And just to answer a quick question on our YouTube channel, Bradley, not sure when you commented, not sure if you heard my first statement on there. Just want to double check that is not the actual Ryan Newman. That is not the Ryan Newman that we know from NASCAR as well as many other forms of racing, obviously. That is a newly formed iRacing driver. So it's not the NASCAR driver. Baker's mom says, "Come on, Baker." I believe she is cheering.
Well, she should, because Matthew Baker is now leading that lower line And he's got the 33 behind him. That's Colin Bowden giving him a push. And you wouldn't want a better guy behind you to give you a push on this track than Colin.
Yep, Colin is, whoa, look at him. He is a little bit squirrely, but seems like his car's a little unsettled there. I don't know if that's just me.
I think he's pushing through the corner. That is not easy.
Yeah, not easy at all.
All right, looking back through the field, we got just everybody's in. There's a lot of dicing and slicing through this field as drivers are going to find a way to get up front. 24 laps to go. 6 are in the books. It takes a surgeon to get through these lines.
Yeah, it takes a lot. And Rick, there hasn't really been too many big movers of the race. Really, the biggest loser has been Cody Nagel's down 10 spots. So, kind of like what I was talking about before. Track position is going to matter.
Well, but look at the guys leading both the lines. You know, Matthew Baker +4, Kenneth McCullum +4. These guys have really worked their way up, and it's not easy, especially with these drivers up front, to get up to the front.
For sure.
Because they're all protecting. You've got to somewhat drive with a little bit of an eye towards that rearview mirror, because if you're out front, you know it's right now it's who's pushing me, who's my buddy. But when it comes down to lap 28, 29, you got no friends.
Your best friend is your yourself, because everybody wants a piece of the pie. At the end of the day, there's a block for Kenneth McCullough, and we got just a shout out from Robert Miller saying, "Let's go McCullough Motorsports." So got some guys supporting these drivers out here tonight. And Baker's mom said, like, share, and follow. Absolutely. If you know anybody who would want to tune in, watch this race, and maybe be a part of other events that not only this league, but other leagues are going on, definitely share that and get more people involved, because this is awesome racing we have going on right now.
So that was
was
super scary. I think that was the 40 that dropped down and dropped his left side down onto the apron. He was able to recover. That rarely ever happens.
I mean, he was way past no man's land there on the inside. I mean, the apron is not your friend ever, but basically half of his car was there. So definitely good to see him going, keeping it straight, and see some guys, you know, kind of peeking out. But really, Rick, this whole field is too wide. 42 guys. I'll take that back. 41 drivers now are nose to tail, double file, and
there we go.
Just as I said that, there's our first. Oh no, the 92 got left out to dry. That is the 92 of John Ward. He now has no help on the outside line. He is going to be dropped to the back.
Yep, he got shuffled back by not having any help. There's a few folks behind him trying to help him that will come out. You're going to need, with this kind of pack, you're going to need at least 3 cars, maybe 5, to really get the amount of lap times these guys are doing. Now, the best lap these guys have turned in the race was a 49.61. If you recall what they were qualifying at, it was a 55.328. So there is nearly a 6-second, 5+ second delta between qualifying speed and race speed in a draft like this.
Yeah, it's incredible. I thought
there's a wreck in the back.
Wreck in the back.
Wreck in the back. Caution has not come out. There it is. But you got the 01, the 239, and the 77 involved. The 29 is Joey Galati. The 77 is Casey Gross, and the 239 is Tim White.
Yeah, let's take a look back and see what happened there. Looks like only 3 guys involved. 3 individuals, 3 cars.
Possibly Ambrose, the 04 was possibly involved. We'll go back and take a look real quick.
Yeah, we'll take a peek. Okay, there was a car already on the apron, so we know that may be some wreck avoidance, possibly.
Let's back it up just a little bit. There's a lot. Oh, I think we're
Oh,
following the
no.
right guys. Let's grab that
Oh, yeah.
far chase behind that 01 car right there in the center. We'll kind of crawl this up a little bit.
All right,
So you can see
so...
the 21 taps the
Ooh.
left rear. Unfortunately, that completely unsettles the 01, spins it around, winds up into Newman. Into the 77 gets involved, the 04, and unfortunately, it's game on at this point.
Yeah, he comes back down and kind of collects each other again. And at this rate, they may come back up the track and collect our third car.
Doing a wonderful
Like synchronized
pirouette.
spinning.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here
All
comes the
right.
77 back down.
I think that's the end. Well, unfortunately, there it is. There's the 239 who tries to stop, but then just unfortunately gets into the door. Not bad. But again, let's go back to live. I expect we will begin to see leaders on pit road. Here we go.
Yep, everybody's making their way down pit road now. We got the entire field stopping in. So this is the stop. Rick, you were right. Your intuition said, we might not get a green flag stop, and we're not going to get a green flag stop. But we are on lap 12, going to be at lap 13, so almost halfway through this race here tonight. And let's see who's going to win the battle off of pit road. It should only be gas and go for these guys. So there's the 5, there's the 33. The 03 looks like he's going to, whoa, close. Who's it going to be? I think the 03 and the 5 and the 33 will be your starting order.
Yep, I believe you are correct. Kenneth McCullough and Matthew Baker, I think, are our first and second off of pit road. Not everybody came down, though. Wesley Phillips stayed out, and Ambrose Diebel also stayed out. They did not come down pit road. It's always a gamble. You just never know.
It is. I mean, I don't know if I like it per se, but I mean, with 50% fuel, you're right there. I mean, if we had maybe one more caution, I may feel a little bit better about that. But with only one caution, it's coming in kind of close. So we'll see what happens, though. That's going to be a big shakeup in the strategy play. Only matters if you're at the front, and I do not see those drivers at the front, though. I see Wesley Phillips in 10th. So I guess he did make up 24 spots. And Ambrose, he made up 11 spots. So not sure about that one. But either way, those are where the strategy is. Also, Matthew Durst said, wow, Ryan Newman is racing here. Great to see him back at the race. The community like that. That's not the actual Ryan Newman. That is another individual named Ryan Newman. That is not the NASCAR Ryan Newman.
Well,
would be cool if it was.
Well, John, he's our Ryan Newman. We'll go with that.
You know what? There we go. He is our Ryan Newman. There we go.
So those guys who did not make it down pit road have now elected to come down now. Probably that's not a. If you were already at the back of the pack, that's probably not a terrible strategy. And also, just what we're seeing through our telemetry, that there are a number of drivers who have all decided to come back down onto pit road.
Yep, topping off on some fuel. So that's going to be important to watch. Now, that means that they don't think that, or they just want to have I mean, that was a big percentage of the field back there.
About 10 to 15 cars came back down onto pit road, trucks rather. So the lights are off on top of our pace car, which means that next time by, we are going back to green. I think race control probably has their hands full in getting this field together.
I'm looking right now at the black flag counter and the EOL counter. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenge, but we're getting it done, getting everybody in the right spots that they need to be in. So great job from race control. Great job, everybody that's put this on.
Because you got the 21, I think that's the straggler, trying to get back. He's coming through turn 2 to try and chase the field. We are right now entering turn 3. But Talladega is a little bit different. That start-finish line is not at the apex of that front straightaway. It's actually a little bit farther down, so he's got a little bit of time to catch up, and he's almost there. So.
Yeah, he should be all fine and dandy, making his way back up to the front, or back into the pack. So, Rick, here we go. That was our first caution of the night for a 4-truck incident here at the Superspeedway Kings Friday Night Thunder event.
Kenneth McCullough is in charge. This restart is on him.
Yes, it is. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate everybody who is... we are not going green. We are not going green. There has been, for some reason, some sort of delay. I don't know why. There has been a delay. Pace car is back out onto the track. No word yet from race control. The 01 spun, apparently. That is what we are hearing.
That's Josh McCullum Motorsports in the 01.
That's... there's no way the 01 spun. The 01 sitting
may
up there.
May have not been the 01. So that's a challenge we face because, again, not all these paint schemes line up with what we're actually showing on the tower, but we'll try to get you some information as soon as we know it from race control.
Joey Galati spun. That's actually from YouTube.
That's the 29.
That's actually from YouTube. That's the 29. Okay, so the 01 on, so not the sim stamped 01. Now we're getting into technicalities.
Right, that's correct.
So I'm gonna go back and see if I could find his car.
We've got it on the broadcast. He's at the very tail end of the field, currently showing in 39th.
Yep.
But he is
trying to figure out.
He is the 01 on his car, on his truck. So.
Yep, he is. Appreciate that. From the YouTube chat, actually catching that. That's incredible. Maybe have some insight that we don't have, obviously. Maybe a family member, or maybe it's actually Joey himself. I don't know. It's not his name, so we have no clue. But thank you for pointing that out. That gives us a lot of help up here in the booth. So here we go. Should be going back to green this time by, for sure, Rick, 100%. As we have the field stacking up again. Again, like I was saying before, we appreciate everybody for tuning in to tonight's race, and make sure to stay tuned for the following race right after this. Friday Night Thunder Part 2, bigger payouts, and we are back to green flag racing here at Talladega. Looks like they got the outside line.
Solid restart.
Solid restart there from the guys from the front. That is the 5, Baker.
03 of Kenneth McCullough is in charge of that low line, the 5. To the outside, the 40 is behind. That's Logan York. The 33 is given a push. That's Colin Bowden again to the 03 of Kenneth McCullough.
And speaking of Logan York, he actually is the one that called that out for us on YouTube. So appreciate that, Logan, giving us that call. So here we go. We are back to green flag racing with going to be 14 laps to go at the line. These guys are going to be battling for every inch here at this track. Right now, Rick,
a little bit of wiggle we saw at the front there.
Oh yeah, we are. The pushes are going to get bigger, and that's all I'm going to say. The pushes are going to get bigger, for sure.
Solid bit of drafting going on now, and definitely we're seeing a lot of movement up in that front. Oh, the 5 moves down in front of the 03. That puts Logan York on that outside line. He's got the 2 behind him. That 2 is Devin Ray.
Yep, we saw him get in at the very end of qualifying, so this is a big step for him, as we see basically 2 distinct packs formed up right now. You have the first pack that is separated from the second pack at about 2 seconds. So very interesting that we saw that. Oh, caution now, caution.
Spin in the back.
It was that second pack, Rick. Not really sure what happened, but it looks like we have the 15 involved.
Looks like Ryan Newman is involved as well.
Yep. It's weird saying that.
I know.
But hey, hate to see that for Ryan. Let's go back and take a look at the replay that brought out our second caution of the night here in race number 1. A lot of different guys involved. It wasn't that second. Oh, there it is. You can see it right there. That is the one machine, I believe, of Wesley Phillip. Maybe not.
No, it's like Sheets. The last name of the back of the truck is
David Sheets.
David Sheets. So we're kind of watching what happened with. Let's kind of roll this a bit. So just like we thought we saw initially, getting up under that left rear quarter panel will absolutely give you a bad day.
Yeah, I just don't think Ryan knew he was there. Got turned around, 77 involved again.
We just saw in the previous incident, and now...
60. Almost got by.
I think that's Johnny Thunders spinning. You've got another, that is the 61. Not really sure exactly who that is. Again, the numbers aren't matching.
Gonna get some rear end contact here. Oh, big hit. Rick, yeah. you almost saw that 15 get a little airborne when it first got spun around. Saw the back end lift up just a little bit. So obviously it's tough.
It sure is. So what we've talked about before, and you've heard us say it as cautions breed cautions, and when you do have this entire field out there, you're going to wind up getting bunched up, and you'll see mistakes happen. So majority of your leaders did not pit, although they teased each other that they were going to go down pit road. But I think that with 12 laps to go, they don't need fuel, they don't need tires, they're good to go. We do see a number of drivers who did elect to come down pit road.
We did, and just to say for all the new viewers out there, that is not the actual Ryan Newman. That is not the NASCAR Ryan Newman. Different Ryan Newman. It is our, as Rick called it, it is our Ryan Newman. So that is not the NASCAR driver, as many of us know. So
he's our Friday Night Thunder Ryan Newman.
He is. But yes, he did get tied up in that past wreck there. It looks like he is on pit road, about to make his way out right now. And a good thing about getting involved in an incident, which the only silver lining is, as long as you can make it back to pit road in one piece, you have a quick repair ready. So now you only have one, so you got to use that at your discretion. You have to use that at the right time. But everybody gets one quick repair. Basically, what that means is you get a reset, you get a fresh car. Any damage goes away. It's basically hitting the reset button. And oftentimes on super speedways, you need that. And in the next race, I believe we have 2, right?
Oh, is it 2 or none? I'm not really sure.
Well,
we'll go back and double check.
That'll change. That'll change the the complexity and the strategy of that race a little bit if there are no quick repairs. Well,
and if you're unfamiliar with that term, basically, it's this is a simulation, and the folks that put this race together allows the driver to come down, and after a collision with damage, they can basically get a fresh race car, come back out, start over. Whereas when you take that away, you're similar to what happens on every weekend. You've got damage, and it has to get repaired. So,
but the one big difference is you're not out thousands and thousands of dollars. You're just out the time that you've raced.
That's correct.
That's correct. Which would be an interesting model if iRacing ever went to a pay to play format when it comes to the cars. I don't think they would ever do that. Don't think they would ever do that. But I see where that could spark a specific driver. You know, say, hey, if you wreck your car, you have to pay $1 to get it back.
So
I don't know if that ever happened.
So John, we're at 10 laps to go. We'll go back with 9 laps to go. This is that time we were speaking of earlier. You got to make a move.
You do have to make a move. And looking right now to the top 5, you have an average position gain of around 7. Matthew Baker up 6, Logan York up 6, Devin Ray up 8, Josh McCullough up 7. So you have basically all these guys that have moved up to the field. A couple other big movers I want to mention. Joshua McKinney up 14, Kevin Bernheimer up 13 positions as well, with Adam Kilday up 8, Trevor Astronaut up 6. So it's going to be an interesting finish to the race.
Well, with 2 cautions in the books, next time by, we'll be back underway with 9 laps to go. Right now, the field is currently about to enter turn 4, and we will be underway momentarily.
We will. 10 laps to go, and all I have to say is, in the great words of some of our favorite commentators, pull those belts tight one more time. Maybe not one more time, maybe a couple times, depending on what we have going on at the end of this race. But Rick, here we go. Guys, we are all lined up here, nose to tail, ready to get this race back underway. Green flag is out. Green flag back in the air here at Talladega. The 40 gets a great jump there on the high side. 9 laps to go here at Talladega. When will we see 3 wide? That's going to be the question.
My money is on lap 4.
Okay. I think we may see it. I think we may see it this lap. I think we may see that outside line start to form up here pretty soon here before that, because especially for these guys right there in the back, you got to build your way up to the front. Big block. Big late
That's
going to stack up the field. Yeah, that's going to stack them up a little bit.
That's the 40 of Logan York. He's dropped down right in front. But the 5 worked it out. That was the 5 of Matthew Baker. Oh, contact up front. They're wrecking. They're wrecking hard.
Big hit. Still green. As long as they stay in the grass, no caution, we'll fly. We are still green. No caution. That is the 03. I believe that's McCullough, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The 03 and the 40 are wrecked.
As long as, the caution was thrown. The caution was thrown by race control. Uh-oh. Caution was thrown by race control.
All right.
2 cars basically stopped on the apron.
So Colin Bowden takes them down. He'll be in position 1 when this gets restarted with probably like less than 5 laps to go.
Yep, we're approaching green-white checker time. Now, Rick, let's see if we can go back and take a look and see what happened between the 03 of Kenneth McCullough and some of the other drivers involved.
The guys in the truck are working on that right now. Let's see what we see.
All right. There's
to go back
40.
Farther.
Yeah, we need to go back. I mean, that started basically out coming out of turn 4.
There we
go.
go.
There it is.
So right now we're focusing on the 03 up front and the 40. Those are your 2 leaders. And it looks like the 40 gets a little squirrely from the 5 in the push. And that sends him up. The 33 saves it, holds on. But unfortunately, the 03 gets collected, and they are just along for the ride.
You know, Rick, when this 03 hit this wall, I was expecting it to hit in a way the same way that we saw a similar wreck happen back in the 84 Clash. Ricky Rudd had a big wreck basically around the same spot. It was, I believe, at Daytona, though. So it was a different wreck, but still, I was expecting that truck to hit that inside wall and start flipping, but he didn't. But unfortunate, McCullough is out of the race. Looks like Logan York should be okay.
It's surprising that he's out because they had a quick repair. But
absolutely,
they will be back at the tail end of the field when this gets restarted.
Yep, it looks like Kenneth McCullough might be out of the pits. He is 2 laps down. Yep, he is out of the pits. He is 2 laps down. So I don't think he has enough time to make it back. But hey, I mean, well, he would have to get a very timely quick repair, or a very timely caution and get some laps back, which there's only 6 to go. So looks like we got some more comments. I was expecting more from Ryan Newman. Is he okay? Well, our Friday Night Thunder Ryan Newman, he's there, right there on the screen. Probably MG, you didn't hear. If you're just tuning into the broadcast, that is not the actual Ryan Newman.
That is our Ryan Newman.
That's our Ryan Newman.
And when I say
looks like we got.
Yep, just it's a regular Joe.
Yep, exactly. Looks like we got some comments talking about. Looks like Logan got pushed on the left and couldn't save it. Rick, is that what we saw there? A little bit of a stack up and a push?
It may have been. There was definitely a lot of pushing. Matthew Baker was behind, and it happens. It happens. So, not everything lines up symmetrically with the nose of the truck and the bumper, and sometimes being slightly off or a little bit too much of a push will unsettle that car, and just as it did, you saw him wiggle and he wound up collecting the upper lane.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that multiple times at Daytona in the Cup Series. You saw that between Bowman and Byron. You saw that often, on any big super speedway. The pushes have to be right on, and also you got to remember, this is a simulation. So it's definitely tough to get it exactly right.
Absolutely. So with 5 laps left, right now we are with the lights off on top of our pace car. We will not be in a green-white checker condition. So we'll go back to racing with 4 laps left. But as Baker's mom commented, it's racing. That's exactly
It's racing. True. That is correct. It's exactly correct.
Oh, see that car blinking on the track, in and out. That is the 89 of Trevor Aswarnath. I'm probably butchering your name, Trevor. I'm sorry.
Rick, here we go. 5 laps to go, 4 to go at the line.
The 33. I'm guessing the 33 is our controlled car. That's Colin Bowden. He's got the 39 of Dylan Jones behind him. Matthew Baker has the outside. He has got the 2 of Devin Ray behind him. Those are 2 well-seasoned iRacing drivers, each in control of their individual line.
Rick, I'm just looking at the combined iRating there. It's let's just say it's over 5,000. If that tells you anything, the highest you can go is a 10. So very skilled drivers up here at the front of this race, folks. This is the time that you do not want to. This is going to be This is going to be chaotic. Green flag back in the air. 3 basically is looks like the 03 is not going to be able to make himself back up into this race. He is 2 laps down, but he needs 2 cautions, so it is still technically possible. But the 33, Colin Bowden out front with Matt Baker, Dylan Jones, Devin Ray, John Mollahan, and Joshua McCullough is now leading this front 6 that is somewhat checked away from the rest of the field just a little bit, as we are now getting essentially a green-white checker, if you call it that, Rick.
Well, we are almost there. We are now finishing our first restart lap. We've got 3 laps to go when they cross the line. Oh, a little bit of movement with the 39 behind the 33. A lot of movement happening at the back for sure.
Yep, this is going to get Harry 39 sideways. We didn't.
Oh, back up in the field.
That's not great. Oh, big wreck. Big wreck at the start-finish line, Rick. You're looking at 10, 15 plus cars in this, a parking lot at the start-finish line. Holy moly.
That was Dylan Jones.
Still got guys wrecking.
There's pieces and parts all over the track. It's going to take the track team a bit to get this place cleaned up before we can restart, and this will put us in a green-white checker.
Yes, it will. Let's take a look back at what happened to the 39 there. Tough break for Dylan Jones, basically up front all race long. Again, I think it was either a stack up where you had a lot of checking up, or it was possibly a mistimed push. Let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened here with this 39. Maybe got loose. I mean, there's so many different possibilities here.
We're going back. We're looking. Well, we found the right time, sort of.
Uh-oh. I see it. Do you see it? I see it.
Go ahead, John. I'm going to let it go slow. Go ahead.
So it looks like you got a push from the 6, and that everybody's pushing. I mean, you got the 6 basically getting pushed from the guy behind him. 39 gets a little off-centered, and here comes another. Just the push was too big. You see the 6 try to check up a little bit,
but he couldn't. The 25 actually pushed him as well.
Him in. Correct.
You've heard the phrase before. You know, you can't push the pusher, and unfortunately, it happens at the worst possible time. You've got the entire balance of the field coming down.
Yep, and we had the big one, folks. We had, oh, wow. You got some guys sliding in there. Some more banging going on. Tough break. Tough break for all these guys that got caught up in this. But hey, guess what? Guess who's now 1 lap closer to getting back in this race? Kenneth McCullough. He has 1 more lap to make up. Now, again, that wasn't our first green-white checker. This is our first green-white checker. Also, to make a correction, there is only 2 green-white checkers tonight. Only 2, not 3. Looking at what I see from the race information and race control, there are only 2 green-white checkers.
Okay, so this is our first one. We certainly hope that we can get it done this time. But if not, we can rack and stack and do it all over again. But if another incident were to happen, we would come by and we would just finish the race under a caution. All right, so where does that leave us? Let's get a look at who is currently on top. That is right now the 5 of Matthew Baker. He is the control car. 2 is outside. Devin Ray. Devin was pushing, in a good way, pushing Matt earlier on, but now he will be lined up side by side. You've got Colin Bowden behind, and to the outside, you've got Joshua McCullough in the 01. So the lights are still on the pace car as we begin to try and get this field reorganized for the restart. There is nobody in the pits right now, so it shouldn't be too terrible to get this field together.
No, we should be getting the pace car lights off this this lap, I believe.
We should. Yeah, there's a one straggler with the 29, but we are pretty much back. And you said it. The lights are off on the pace car, so these trucks will get back underway as we try to get this race settled in 3 laps.
3 laps. So, I mean, I'm not going to consider this last restart a green-white checker. It was basically a green, then possibly white, then possibly a checker. So, but we're essentially going to get 2 more potentially, this one and then 1 more after this. And like you said, Rick, if a caution comes out on that second one before they reach the white flag, the race will be over. And we do have race control. We have 3 amazing admins, a part of the IWM team that are calling this. So obviously, if they see something too dangerous, they're going to make a call too, but also hopefully rely on iRacing as well to make some of these decisions, as well as hopefully stay green. You know, that's always the goal. But if we hit that white flag, Rick, all I got to say is hold on tight, because it's going to be a wild race.
All bets are off, you know.
All bets will be off. As we have Matt Baker in the 5, Devin Ray in the 2, leading the bottom and the top lines respectively. Baker up front basically all race long. Chris Carter says, hello from Columbus, Ohio, boys. What's going on, Chris?
Gabe Butler chimed in and helped to referee the heated discussions happening in our YouTube channel. But here we are. Pace car has dropped off. Matthew Baker is in command, entering the Geico restart zone about now.
Here we go. Alrighty, green flag back in the air. 3 laps to go at the line now. 2 laps to go.
A little bit of a checkup on that outside line.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that's just to get them all stacked up and pushing. You know, you got to have momentum here, and that top line definitely needs it. Now, who's going to break away? If that third line break, there's Baker, and here's the pushing.
That makes perfect sense, because he was working with Devin earlier. He's back in front of his teammates. There's the third line we've been talking about all night, because now you've got to make a move or you're not going to be in the money.
Rick, that 4th car in that outside row, they are all stacked up. This is going to get hairy. Got a couple cars getting set up into the wall. We should be okay. We got 4 wide now at Talladega. Coming out of turn 3. White flag is in the flag
there's a car
hand.
in the back, and we are back under caution.
Yep, backwards. Car going backwards. I think we have some tires also rolling down the track.
Kevin Bernheimer, possibly. Well, we're going to do this all over again.
All over again.
So what we saw in that restart was that that Matt Baker saw his opportunity to go and reunite with his teammate Devin Ray, who was leading that outside line. They hooked up together, and then unfortunately that incident happened behind them. But my guess is that they're going to do this exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
All right, let's see if we can find just what happened to... Let's find... There's the wrecked car of Kevin Bernheimer in the... Well, we saw him backwards. Well, that's unfortunately just what that is. That's just a driver error. It happens. So you've got the 8 there, just kind of cooking along, holding his line. Maybe came down a little bit, but at the same time, it looks like the 28 of Bernheimer came up, and they occupied the same space at the same time. And no matter what, you can't do that.
Nope, can't do that at all. Can't do that at all. And that's not, I mean, we've seen that a lot of times, tonight with misaligned pushes, space that's not there. It's tough out there, especially when the pack is so close. To make sure you're perfectly lined up and you're perfectly trying to maneuver your way through the field. And sometimes you don't really know how close the other guy. So tough break for that to happen. But we will get another green-white checker here.
Absolutely. All right, so the running order, the starting order, and the restart order are currently posted. You got Matt Baker on top, Colin Bowden, Devin Ray, Cody Nagels, Josh McCullough, Vincent Guerrero, John Mollahan, and Trevor Aswornath is your top 8. Chris McCullough is in 9th, and John Ward is in 10th. We'll see how this all plays out. Under normal conditions, we would expect our winners and our money place to come out of that list. But you just never know.
You never know. And guess who's back on the lead lap? Kenneth McCullough Jr. that got involved with the 40 and the 5 in that first incident. So he's back up there. Don't know what he's going to be able to do. But again, if a wreck happens on the last lap, he could see himself possibly battling himself through the carnage to maybe get a good finish. Obviously, only the top 5 pays, but still, great to see him back up in the race.
There's a lot of bragging rights here as well. Not just about the money. You're racing with a lot of really good drivers, and that always makes it that much more special, that much more sweet when you can place better than your iRacing buddy. So. All right, so the lights are still on. I expect to see them go off momentarily, and we will form back up and do it for the last time, though, because whatever happens at this point.
Whatever happens. That is correct.
Well, it's not like we can restart it. There won't be a restart. This is how the race will end at the end of this green-white checker.
And all I got to say, Rick, is the pushes are going to be bigger than ever, and the blocks are going to be even bigger. So will Matthew Baker be able to hold on? Will we see somebody make their way through the carnage? That is somewhat inevitable? Question mark. We know there's going to be chaos. So right now, looking at the leaderboard, you got a lot of guys midfield, 17th through 23rd, average position gained of about 15.5. You have Dean Grubb up 13, Cole Larson up 14. You have Stephen Gregory up 18, Casey Gross up 18, and Johnny Thunders 18 plus. So a lot of guys trying to make a very late push in this race, and it's going to be, all gloves off, everybody fending for themselves, and we'll see what happens. Angelin says, good luck, drivers. Yes, I will send, I think we all should send a wish of luck to everybody, and hopefully we get it back to the green, or back to the checkered flag clean and get a great finish, maybe a 3-wide finish, Rick, a 4-wide finish.
Oh,
How fun would that be?
I think you'll see that, absolutely.
All right. They're coming out of turn 4 right now, which will be the final time they come out of turn 4 under caution, unless we have a caution, before the white flag.
You've got 39 drivers on the lead lap. They're all stacked up together. Matt Baker is in charge. Colin Bowden to the outside. About to enter the Geico restart zone, and it's all on Matt.
Here we go. Green flag back in the air, then they're off. Okay, it looked a little bit slow, but it looked like they were able to get underway. The outside line has momentum now going down into turn 1. That is led by the 33 of Colin Bowden there. To his back doorstep, you have the 6, I believe, of John Mollahan. And now you see that inside line start to prevail. You got the block from the 5 coming up. And the 3-wide is starting to form.
Oh,
Here
big,
we go.
Big contact,
big,
big moves.
Oh, hold on to her,
They're
boys.
holding
Hold on.
They're holding.
We're 3 wide, still green. Make it to the white flag. That's all we need is them just to make it to the white flag, and we will have a race on our hands back to the start-finish line. Here they come out of turn 4.
Big moves. Oh, big push.
My
Contact.
wow.
Oh, Wrecky in the back. They're wrecked the back.
We're wrecking. This might be it. Might be it. Caution's out.
But we just
All
crossed
right.
the start-finish.
We need to get. Oh wow, we got some guys sending it. I don't know why you would do that, Rick. There's still 1 lap to go. These guys need to make it back. This is not the end of the race. They have to make it back, right?
Nope, that calls it. It's whatever happened at
Does that
start.
call it for sure?
Yep.
Okay, just double checking. Well, we're gonna have to wait to see what the final results here are. Nothing official yet. We're gonna work on that as we speak. The race is official at that caution.
We're trying to go back to see if we can. We're trying to go back.
I mean,
to
it was
get
just.
to that.
Yeah, we got to go back and see what happened.
It was crazy. All right, we'll just try to let this run and.
Rick, I'm seeing some mixed things happening. I'm seeing the running order change as we speak via iRacing.
Yeah, it still has not posted the results.
Yeah, we still. Oh, we got some extracurricular activities. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, we got some extracurricular activities going on for sure.
Yep.
Not really sure why.
Yeah. So
but
we do have results. Let's bring up the official results.
All right, this is official, and Rick, it did change. I got to say, it did change from the moment that I saw the caution fly to what was shown on iRacing's side. So it looked like Devin Ray got the win. John Mollahan there finishing in second, Joshua McCullough in third, Matt Baker in fourth, and Christopher McCullough finishes in fifth. The top 5 paying positions. Colin Bowden there, in sixth, Junior Miller there in seventh, Cody Nagels in eighth, Vincent Guerrero in ninth, and Trevor Asworth in 10th.
David Sheets in 11th, Hunter Parsons finishes in 12th, Logan York in 13th, Stephen Gregory in 14th, Steve Barnett in 15th, John Ward in 16th, Alex Hill is in 17th. In 18th, you've got Kenneth Stamper, 19th, Dylan Jones, and 20th is Sean Corbett.
In 21st, you have Tim White, 22nd, Johnny Unders, 23rd, Dean Grubb with Mark Vondel in 24th, Jeremy Osborne in 25th, Caitlin Baste in 26th, Richard Elliott in 27th, Cole Larson in 28th, Sammy Carter in 29th, and Adam Kilday in 30th.
All right, in 31st, Tom Dixon. Wesley Phillips finishes in 32nd, Ambrose Nebel in 33rd, Kenneth McCullough in 34th, Ryan Newman finishes in 35th, Josh McKinney in 36th, Bobby Forbes in 37th, Chad Lancaster in 38th, Casey Gross 39th, William Rice in 40th, and 41st is Joey Galati. Kevin Bermheimer finishes in 42nd. All right, so that is the results of the first race of tonight's doubleheader.
Wow. Absolute chaos.
All right, so we do have our second race. And we thank you for tuning in. Really, John, we're gonna go ahead and just move on over. I don't see anybody yet in a. Well, you know what? John Mollahan is in the waiting room. Let's see if we can move John to the broadcast booth.
All right, let's do it.
John, congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you very much, man. Well, what a hard-earned, well-fought race.
With a wild ending for certain.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris behind me, man, did a phenomenal job pushing. We see Devin Ray go up there at the end. I'm not sure really what happened because it all went down so fast, but it obviously it benefited us tonight, and we'll take it.
Absolutely. What was your thoughts kind of leading into that last restart there, trying to get positioned for the win?
Well, track positions was going to be key here. The setup was very tight. You can see the third lane never got going tonight. So that momentum, it felt like the bottom was the place to be, and we were fortunate enough to be there at the end. Restarting seventh, I thought we may have been too far back, but again, Chris McCullough to the with the pushing, and then Devin with the move up there at the end, that kind of shook us up and gave us some more.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Oh, yeah, obviously, man. Both my sons, Carter and Jackson, my fiance, Brittany, all the guys at Kanawha Valley Key and Fob, and Will Jory and Lone, and obviously you guys in the booth and Jimmy Crow for putting on the show.
You got it. Well, there's your second place winner, John Mohan, and congratulations on that. If we do get the winner, Devin Ray, in the booth, we'll try to bring him to you. We're just waiting for things to settle down. So we really appreciate those of you who have tuned in to tonight's broadcast. Don't go away. We're about to switch over to our second race of the night, and we'll catch up. So, all right. Thanks again, John, for joining us here in the booth, and we'll catch you at the next event.
Yeah, I'll see you race two. Thank you.
Alrighty, what a wild end to race number one, Rick. And again, we have race number two coming up very shortly here. That is going to be going live roughly sometime here. We're trying to get, obviously, everybody converted over, the new session populated. So we're going to be having that ready to go here very shortly for you all. So go get some popcorn, go open your favorite beverage, and we'll be seeing you in race two here in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere.
Yep. So we're staying live here while we do the transition over to the second session here. Let's hope we can figure this out. And
It looks, yeah.
I'm looking for that second session. There it is right there. Right. Here with us here, folks. We appreciate you hanging with us. John, what's just your thoughts as to what you saw that first race? Did it go like you thought, or?
I thought it was very aggressive pushing. I thought I saw a lot of pushing the pusher that caused quite a few of those incidents. I think that is expected, but also it's just a lot going on here, especially for these the guys in the Super Speedway Kings. But Rick, I think we may have got somebody else in the booth. May have gotten the race winner, Rick.
Hey,
Devin
there
Ray,
he is.
I think is. Devin, what a win! Congratulations.
And I appreciate it. I was hoping crazy that there was going to be a yellow there because those 2-3 McCullough trucks behind me, I really didn't have a chance. And I messed up with Baker earlier. I told him I was committed, ended up pushing him half a truck up. I thought, he was going up to pull that line, so I took the spot. But, man, what a finish.
Absolutely. So I'm obviously you're thinking, I guess, well, tell us about your thoughts at that point. You've got this green-white checker that goes off. You're getting restacked and starting all over again. And what was your thoughts as you approached the green flag?
Well, we come there, I was on the bottom, like I said, behind Baker. I already told him I was committed. I was happy with just the top three. He had paid the same, so I wasn't going to force it. There coming to that line, Josh got me a little loose, forced us both up, actually. And I seen Mollahan coming, so I knew I had to get back down and try to block that. And he got me a little loose as well, and they got me on the outside. And I was like, God, hope and pray for a yellow. And luckily enough, I heard the Discord going off. There's a wreck. So I was praying because, as you see at the line, I mean, I would have still got third, but being up front, I was hoping I'd stay there.
Well, pretty amazing victory for you. You had a lot of competitors out there, and some very well-known competitors there. That there's a lot of guys who, and you've been around enough. You know who is next to you and who you can trust and who you may or may not know. But congratulations on your win. Any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, we'll try to throw it back to the beginning. John Ward got me into the money racing scene with his spot races, $5 here and there. After that, it was a downhill spiral. Brian Bassett with One Stop Shop, a great guy, gave me and Ryan a shot at a team. And I bounced around, went to McCullough, great group of guys over there, learned a lot from them, and got pulled in over here to KSR with another great group. So we working on the chemistry there, but we're coming around.
That's awesome. Well, again, congratulations on your win tonight, and will we see you in the second event?
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
I'm hoping the finish is the same. So,
well, that would be great. There's 14 minutes left in that in the practice session for race number 2, and we'll see you over there.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. That's your race winner of race number 1 here. That is Devin Ray. All right, John. So that was great. Great a chance to speak to Devin. Just really worked out well. Hoping to, opportunity to repeat.
Yeah, absolutely. Opportunity to repeat. And I mean, imagine that. I know we've mentioned some prize pools, but Rick, if he finishes in the top 2 again, you're looking at $500,000. I mean, that is an amazing Friday night, if you ask me. For some, couple races going on. So really quick, I want to shout out Chris Carter on the gift on the YouTube channel broadcast. We so much appreciate that, Chris. I think that actually may be one of our first gifts we've ever gotten. Rick, we got a $5 gift from Chris Carter for the great broadcast. So thank you so much, Chris. That obviously will help us continue to put on these great broadcasts. And also, we haven't said this, but if you enjoyed race 1, you're going to enjoy race 2, which means you're going to enjoy some other racing that we here at the IWM Broadcast Network are going to put on. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way every time we're going to be live on YouTube. We go live every Wednesday and Thursday for the Tech for Troop Cup Series and the iNASCAR Racing Series, both very high-skilled series. And also these one-off events that we do, for example, the Superspeedway Kings Friday Night Thunders. We do some charity events as well throughout the year, so make sure to tune in and subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss a beat of all the action.
Well, John,
Rick, we got race 2.
We do. So we're going to throw it right now back to our sponsors, get some commercials out of the way, get our national anthem in, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes to talk all about race number 2.
Let's do it.
Superspeedway Kings brings truck racing to Talladega for Friday Night Thunder. Watch some of the best competitors iRacing has to offer. Take on the high banks of Dega and try to avoid the big one. Watch 40 drivers take on the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway to compete for cash prizes and bragging rights. All brought to you tonight by the Superspeedway Kings and the One Stop Shop graphics designers.
All right, welcome back to the IWM Broadcast Network of the Super Speedway Kings Friday Night Thunder. If you've been with us and you're staying with us, you just saw race number 1, just a tremendous showing with Devin Ray winning that event. We had to do it with both green-white checkers. And John, what do you think about this race number 2?
I think the tension's going to increase. We'll see how big the field is for race number 2. So far, we have about 9 minutes to go, and the field is basically slashed in half. As of right now, looking at some lap times, and now looking at some of the entries, yep, it's about a 20-car field. So I think really it depends on the field size. If we get a smaller field, like a significantly smaller field in race 2, you may see a little bit more patience out of these guys. Because racing against 40 guys, or 39 other drivers, is much different than racing against 19 other drivers. So, especially on a super speedway. So, I think it's going to, I can't really make a call at the moment. I think if we have a race with a smaller field, I think it may be a little bit more advantageous to make some moves, but also there's more room on the track because there's less cars. But if you have more than what I'm anticipating the full 20 field, people want to win. Not only for bragging rights, but to win a little bit of the prize pool at the end of the day. And Rick, go through really quick. What are these guys racing for in race number 2?
So big money. So race number 2 here, they've got first prize and second both bring home $300. Third place 200, fourth is 150, and fifth is 123. That may depend on exactly what the driver count is per, but Jimmy Crow, who puts on these races, he pretty much gives it all back to the drivers. You put the money in, it all goes back in the winnings back out to these drivers.
Yeah, and that's just amazing that he does that and is able to put on an amazing race number 1. And let's hope that we have the same here in race number 2. I think we will. We're seeing quite a few drivers carry over. Let's talk about that a little bit. Devin Ray, Ryan Grob, Cody Nagels, Vincent Guerrero, Bobby Forbes. You have also Jeremy Osborne, Ryan Baste, Trevor Astronaut. You have John Ward, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Richard Elliott, Joey Galletti as well. So quite a few guys that have made the transition over. But one of the guys that is going to be racing in this race that has not been raced, that didn't race in the last race, is Kevin Freese. He is one of the most skilled drivers on the super speedway circuit, especially in this field, but also on iRacing, and is a part of a lot of the super speedway style racing and events and leagues. So we'll see what he's able to do tonight as this field starts to populate just a little bit more as we're talking. But Rick, we got about 7 minutes, or 6 minutes rather, until we hit qualifying for race number 2 here at Talladega. So don't go away. Angelin says, good luck, drivers, again with a Shamrock, a race car, and 3 flames. Well, you do need a little bit of luck. You need a car, and you don't want to catch on fires. Or you may want to be really hot and go to the front. So gotta love that, and appreciate everybody who stuck around for race 1, and hope you stick around for race 2.
Yep, so we are seeing, as we had mentioned earlier, a number of drivers are populating, so we're seeing the counts come in. I believe this race is also sold out, if not nearly sold out, so we should have a full field. We had 42 drivers in that last event, and I'm expecting to see a number of the same drivers here. So Devin Ray, that's that number 2 car right there. Devin was the winner of our first race, and he is back out here taking that opportunity to wind up potentially with a lot of loot from Mr. Jimmy Crow.
A lot of loot, and if you hear us referring to the word loot, you know that we talk about that a little bit in our Wednesday night series, the Tech for Troop Cup series. There are some awards given away every week for the paint scheme skirmish of the week. Basically, whoever has the best paint scheme from our lovely, judged by our lovely sponsor, Tech for Troops, Mr. Jason, Parker, he gives away some Amazon loot that he refers to. So we got, hard cash loot here tonight given away for the drivers here finishing 1st through 5th. So we'll see how this race plays out, Rick. Field is definitely starting to populate just a little bit more, so we're going to see specifically who makes their way into this. Got some drivers just having some fun out there right now, doing some drifting.
Well, we're watching right now on the broadcast. We're watching Mr. Devin Ray get some practice laps in. We'll switch over. This is Caitlin Baste also out there getting in some time. Got a little bit of a glitch with our broadcast software. Apologize for it popping in and out. There's about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left of practice before we go on to qualifying. Now for this race, we'll see. We saw just a handful of drivers who did not qualify in that last race. Did they all qualify? I'm trying to think. I think we saw.
I can't remember, actually.
Yeah, I thought we saw maybe a couple. Now, I don't think we'll get a lot of the guys who just finished up that last race who actually get in here and practice. I think they've gotten all the practice they think they probably need. Now, interested in that car paint scheme says Ryan base, so maybe Caitlin owns the car and Ryan's the driver. How's that?
More than likely, that's what it is. Also, I made this mistake once before, but we're racing in the trucks tonight, and a truck race is going on right now, and all I gotta say is you're gonna want to tune in and rewatch the actual Craftsman truck race going on in Las Vegas. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna say who won. I'm not gonna say anything, but you gotta go and watch it. That's all I gotta say. That's literally it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know we have to be careful because a lot of these drivers who are out here racing tonight, they record that event to go back and look at it later. We're not going to spoil it for them. So.
Oh no, not going to spoil it at all. Not going to spoil it at all. I just happened to see the results. So, wow. That's all I got to say is wow.
Okay. All right, just a few minutes left before we go into our qualifying session. John, what do you think your keys are to tonight's event? After watching the first race, has that changed your keys at all?
No, it's the same. You gotta keep yourself out front. You gotta pit. I guess pit strategy was a little bit different because you didn't have to pit under green, but definitely, you have to work with team members, and you got to keep yourself out front. And we saw that with the majority of the field. So I think you have to be out front here. You have to be able to be aggressive at the right time. But it's definitely going to be a battle of attrition battling through this race.
All right, well, we're watching the time just basically wind down here before we go back into qualifying, and then we'll bring this race to you. We're watching Sean Corbett make it around and do a little bit of basically some qualifying laps. Expect we'll see a number of drivers doing that. That's Vicente Guerrero. We saw him in the last race as well. In that black number 14. All right, that's Ryan Bates again doing another qualifying lap. We did see this is Mr. Ryan Newman, not the Ryan Newman. He's back here. You saw again Ryan in the first race.
We did.
All right. Looks like we are getting ready for qualifying. So that will change. I'm not sure what our car count will be but pretty much this is it. So pretty good turnout. Again, we expect less of a turnout tonight because this is a higher buy-in of an event, but at the same time, you've got some impressive drivers in here. You've got Garrett Maines. Garrett has over 9,000 I rating. He's got a professional license as a driver. You have got, as we mentioned early, Cody Nagels. You have got Ray Rittenauer, Kevin Fries. That's a lot of well-known iRacing drivers who are out here racing tonight.
Yep, and that's just incredible to watch, and I'm excited to see how this plays out. I'm really excited to see these skilled guys come out here for these big money races, and we saw the big names come out last race. We're seeing some also some big names coming out for this one, so great to see. Great to see.
All right, so right now we're watching Cody Nagels make his way around in that extra light number 6. Now we can only bring you one qualifying lap at a time, but while we're showing you Cody's lap, there's a number of drivers that are out getting their qualifying lap in. We can jump over to Ray Rittenauer in that black 87. Can bring in some telemetry from Ray's car. Truck, matter? I think I've said that 4 times tonight.
Oh, I do it too. I do it too.
So you can see right there as Ray is just barely touching that yellow line. You know, you can tell this is a driver who has done this many times before. He knows his way around this track.
Absolutely, he does. And can we see him actually end up on the pole? That's going to be the question here tonight.
All right, we're seeing the times begin to populate. Alex Hill is currently on top of the leaderboard with a 55.475. Flipping our way through the field here, looking for other drivers on the track. That is Trevor S. Warneth, and I'm sure I butchered his last name. Board is constantly changing as new drivers are working their way up to the top. Trevor's getting his lap in. We still have a number of drivers who have not qualified as of yet. How much time do we have left in the qualifying session?
A minute and 20 seconds. 1:20.
All right, so we're seeing a number of drivers who have decided that they are not going to qualify.
Which, again, it's not a terrible strategy with the field size, but I kind of shocked, to be honest. I was expecting everybody to come down pit road, or not come down pit road, go down and make a qualifying lap, but you know, you have strategy at play already, and we're seeing that now early on.
Number of guys are wrapping up their qualifying laps. These are new faces tonight. That's Tucker McLennan, currently on track now, trying to get his qualifying lap in. This is John Ward, Wesley McPhillips, and I think we may just wind up with 1 or 2 drivers not qualifying.
I think that might be correct.
That's Vicente Guerrero finishing up his qualifying lap. with not much time left. Andrew Navarro, again Wesley Phillips. This is Dylan C. Jones. Garrett Maines is out there. I'm not sure how much time he's got.
14, my bad, about 24 seconds.
I am not sure he's going to get his qualifying lap in. He's currently in the middle of the backstretch.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen. Alrighty, Rick. That winds up... actually, no, I take that back. They changed the qualifying. I just now noticed that to a 10-minute qual. So, well, that was changed. I was expecting 5. I didn't even manage to look up to the top of the screen and see that. We now have 3 minutes left instead of no time left. So,
well, I guess that makes perfect sense now. Why we're seeing drivers who we thought would have been out there right away qualifying. They had all the time in the world.
They did. So last race, we had a 5-minute qualifying with 1 lap. This race, it looks like there is 10 minutes, just under 3 minutes left, 2 minutes and 52 seconds to be exact, to get your qualifying time in for the second race. And it looks like we are probably close to about 25 to 30 cars again, Rick. So another big field.
Oh, yeah, actually 32 is what I've got currently in car count. So, yeah. So Jason Maines is still on track. Jason Maines, I believe, is the brother of Garrett. Getting his up. Garrett has qualified as 7th. And Jason, I believe, is our last qualifier right now. He's the last truck on the track to get in his qualifying lap. All right, we certainly appreciate all of you reaching out and joining us tonight here on the IWM broadcast of the Super Speedway Kings Friday Night Thunder. This was a doubleheader. This is race number 2, where we've got some of the best that iRacing has to offer. These drivers, super experienced, and this should be one heck of a show.
It's going to be one heck of a show, so don't go anywhere. It's going to be action-packed again for even more money again. Based on 43 entries, that is where those payouts will come into play, so maybe a little bit different, but still, no matter what it is, big payouts for 1st through 5th. Everybody's going to be battling for those positions as well, so definitely don't turn away now.
All right, that's pretty much the end of qualifying as we know it. I believe Jason Maines is just finishing up. Trying to get the last little bit of his lap in. He is currently showing in 12th.
Yep, that is correct.
So looking at that leaderboard, you've got Alex Hill, Kevin Freeze, Andrew Navarro, Cody Nagels, Ray Rittenauer, Vincenzo Guerrero, Garrett Maines, Kenneth McCullough, John Mahan, John Ward. That's top 10. That is insane.
That is just wild. This top 10 is so star-studded. I mean, you're looking at, Garrett Maines, obviously, by iRating and by just skill level, by everything we've seen, highest iRating driver that we've had tonight in the night with the Pro World Championship license. So, Rick, here we go. 74 degrees again. and the track temp changes just like that, down to 85 degrees. Changes in a lickety split there, so a little bit cooler, which means a little bit more grip, but 30 laps, same thing as last race. 1 quick repair, unlimited sets of tires, 54% fuel, and 2 green-white checkers. Yes, that is correct. 2, not 3, 2 green-white checkers.
And I'll need to double check and get back to you on the number of quick repairs for this second race. That may be an incorrect value.
I will do my due. See what it says. 2 green, white checkers.
2.
None. 2 green, white checkers. No quick repairs.
No quick repairs. Okay.
So that is wild.
Okay.
That is going to make this race even more exciting.
Well, we do have drivers beginning to grid up. Let's go ahead and look at that grid.
Absolutely. Here we go. Your starting lineup for the second race of the Superspeedway Kings here for Friday Night Thunder. Alex Hill starting up there in first with Kevin Freese there in second. Andrew Navarro in third. Cody Nagels in fourth. Ray Rittenauer in fifth with Vincent Guerrero in sixth. Garrett Main starting there in P7 with Kenneth McCullough, who was outside in P8. John Mollahan in ninth, and John Ward rounds out the 10th place position for this 34-car field.
Kenneth Stamper is in 11th. Jason Maines is in 12th. In 13th, you've got Trevor Aswarnath in 14th. David Sheets. Dylan C. Jones is in 15th. Justin Mills in 16th. Ryan Bass is in 17th. Aubrey Thompson is in 18th. Devin Ray in 19th. And Sean Corbett is in 20th.
In 21st, you have Dustin Carruthers. In 22nd, Ondel. 23rd, Richard Elliott to his outside. 24th is Jeremy Osborne. In 25th, you have the 5 machine of Dean Grubb with the 26 of our Friday Night Thunder, Ryan Newman. A part of that, that is, if you're new, that is not the actual NASCAR Ryan Newman. Just to make that disclaimer now, the only time I'm going to say it, that is our Ryan Newman, the iRacing NASCAR Ryan Newman. In 27th, Chad Ross. 28, Wesley Phillips. In 29, Joe Galletti. And in 30th, you have Brock Westmoreland.
In 31st, you've got Trevor McLennan. In 32nd, Matthew Baker. 33rd is Logan York. 34th, Bobby Forbes. And Rick, that's our field.
I think we had some checkups happening with some cars in the back on the outside line already. Not sure what happened, but looks like some guys didn't go or did go, and already got a little bit of some fenders being bent. You see the whole field right there, not even lined up. So, well,
it's like
interesting.
Yeah, there may have just been. You see some drivers kind of joining in. That's the 42 of Andrew Navarro. A little bit out of shape right now. Trying to get a better shot of our field here.
You got a lot of guys hanging back.
Yeah, but as they're just entering turn 3, this field is kind of stretched out.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why.
Well, they've got a little bit of time to put it together, but it's going to be a race to that start-finish line. So our leader, Alex Hill, is our control car.
All right, pace car makes its way down. Looks like we got the field starting to stack back up. All right, we are in good shape right now. This is our second Friday Night Thunder of our doubleheader, second race here for the Superspeedway Kings, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network. Hope you enjoyed race 1. Here is race number 2. They're in the Geico restart zone, and we are green flag racing here at Talladega Superspeedway Kings Friday Night Thunder. As the 77 of Alex Hill leads them down with Kevin Freese there in the top lane in the turn 1.
All right, Alex Hill continues to lead that line. The 25 of Kevin Freese is leading that outside. He's got a familiar truck behind him in the 6 of Cody Nagels.
Yeah, we saw Cody last race up here at the front, so we know that he can be fast. We saw Vincent Guerrero, Kenneth McCullough, John Ward, all these different drivers, as well as some new ones out there. So we'll see how this race goes. And we're wrecking already. Wrecking in turn 3 and turn 4.
Caution is out. Lots of damaged race cars. As we said, there is no fast repair. So
yep, so that's it for some of these guys. That's it.
Yeah, you may be out.
I'm looking at Logan York potentially, Tucker McClendon, maybe Matthew Baker involved in this, Joe Galletti, Brock Westmoreland, possibly Chad Ross and Bobby Ford. We're up to take a look back and see what happened.
All right, yeah, definitely some guys involved. Let's see if we can go back and find Brock. I think Brock Westmoreland was involved. Let's see if we can see it from his perspective.
Oh, yeah,
there we go.
Yep, a lot going on right there.
Let's try and move up a little bit farther in the field here. Right there.
Oh, wow.
So it looks like I'm trying to figure out, that's the 59 of Mark Von Dell, who looks like he may have just slid out of line, and then the 41 may have taken advantage of that. That is Osborne. That's Jeremy Osborne, who may have slipped under him. So you see the 59, he's out of the gas. There was a slight checkup on the 45. He bailed, and unfortunately the 41 slipped under. He did not check up. He had full momentum, and he winds up under. Unfortunately, that then collects the 26 of Newman. The 1 is involved. That is Phillips. You see the 4 spinning. The 5, unfortunately, that's Baker, gets involved in the 38. So lots of damaged race cars. Unfortunately, that was a large wreck. But let's go back to live action here. That's the 4 of Brock Westmoreland in the pits. Big number of guys who are on pit road, just getting repairs done. That's Mark Von Dell. You've got Dean Grobe. Got the 6 of Ryan Newman in the pits. That's the 5 coming out of Dean Grobe. Number of drivers trying to get back up to the field. But it happens.
It does happen. It's unfortunate, but it happens here at Talladega. So looking right now, we have all those guys basically still in pit road trying to get all that damage fixed. So hopefully they're able to make their way back out. But that was our first caution of the night here on lap, what was that, lap 2, basically? Lap 2 or
Pretty
lap
much.
1? No, that was lap 1.
Lap 1, yeah.
Yeah, coming out of turn 3 and turn 4.
It looked to be like it was a simple mistake. You saw what was really a good move to, when the line checked up in front of him, he moved out to avoid causing a wreck, and unfortunately the momentum of the cars behind him wound up under, and unfortunately when he came back down, he was not clear.
Exactly. Came back down. Wasn't clear, and unfortunate that for those drivers. So it looks like I think everybody's still on the lead lap. They are now exiting pit road. What that tells me is we should be getting the 1 to go signal and the lights out on the pace car this time by. So we'll have to possibly double check that. Here we go at the line.
Yeah, I would have to see just how this affects our order, whether are we going to be all, I guess we have to go back to the longest line. We'll see how that lines up. Just 2 cars remaining on pit road. They're both coming out. That's Chad Ross and Tucker McClendon. That's making their way out. Currently, the scoring pylon, I think, still shows Alex Hill in the 77 as the control car. Truck. I know.
Hey, it happens. It's 11:10 Eastern, 10:10 Central. it happens.
Yep,
But
no, absolutely. So we're looking forward to getting this race back underway momentarily. The lights are off on the pace car, and we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of Super Speedway Kings Friday Night Thunder, brought to you by One Stop Shop here at Talladega. These races, these money races on iRacing, bring out some of the best talent, and you can see that just by looking at the current timing tower, who we're seeing there. There's just some big names in the iRacing community represented here, and just pretty impressive.
very impressive and awesome to see. Awesome to see the talent that has shown up tonight. And we hope you've enjoyed it so far. I know we have. I think everybody who's been racing has. So awesome to see everybody turn out for these awesome money races. So, Rick, it looks like the pace car is making its way back down pit road. We're going to be getting the green flag this time by.
And we will, in effect, kind of just, it's a do-over.
In a sense, yeah. Now it's a 25-lap race. Essentially, you still need to pit. It still is a factor. Now, if we keep on getting cautions like this, you may start to see some guys gamble. But who knows? Hopefully, we don't see any cautions. And now we're back under green flag racing here at Talladega. Lap 5 of 30 underway.
Just 30 laps here. That's all they've got. 26 laps left in this. It's really just a shootout is what this is.
100% it's a shootout, absolutely. And right now you have some 3-wide action already starting to form. Well, that was quick. That middle line decides to shoot up to the outside. That outside line being led, I believe that is the Sony machine.
That is Kevin Stamper.
Kenneth Stamper rather. And here's the 3-wide action we were promising. Welcome to Talladega, folks. If you want to go 4, you can, but we're going to be going 3 wide for quite a while, I can imagine. Hold on tight.
Key on that outside lane, though, is they're going to need some help and some participation. You saw right there the 4 drop down. And the 92, not drop down, move up. And the 92 move up to try and get some more trucks in that space. Gosh.
And the 77 of Alex Hill moves up to the middle to block that run and to get that momentum now going down into turn 3 wide here at Talladega. The Super Speedway Kings are out tonight.
That 87 of Ray Rittenauer was kind of a little bit of wiggly there as it was going through the turns.
Rick, we got the pushers being pushed, and that never ends well. Not trying to jinx anything, but we know how that goes. Here on iRacing, so
yeah, it's really not even. It's really on in real life as well. It's super hard when they're tight up front. You've got to back off. Oh, and we're wrecking right up front.
And there it is. There it is. The big one. Car up into the fence. Oh my gosh, we got the big one here at Talladega. I've never seen a car ride the fence like that.
I think that was the 25.
25 was riding the fence backwards.
I think that was Kevin Freese.
Yep, Kevin Freese took a wild hit. His day is done in that machine.
All right, let's see if we can find it. And it's just, let's take a different, and there you see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the offset push. Now, is the 92 getting pushed from behind as well?
He's certainly close. Yep. So the 4 bailed, the 92. Unfortunately, the 92 hooks the 4 into the 25.
And now here's the wild ride. Look at this. He gets airborne right here. And then he is now riding the wall. Absolutely insanity, Rick. I mean, he is above the safer barrier, and now he falls back down, and you know what? I'm just going to go back on 4 tires. And that collects the entire field. outside of maybe 10 cars. Huge wreck.
All right. Okay, as we talked about, Kevin's in the pits. He's got repairs to make and see if he can get back out there. Don't know if that's possible. John Ward in the 92. He's in there. David Sheets in the 1. Also, you can see he is missing a good bit of body. He's got some major front end damage there. Ray Rittenauer is also in the pits. He's got some damage. And now the leaders are coming down onto pit road. All right, our second caution of the night, and it was the big one. And pretty much the entire field. Well, I say that. I think there's still Mark Bondell did not come in. He stayed out.
Yep, he came in on the first caution, so he elected to stay out this time. He is a McCullough Motorsports driver.
He was in for an extended amount of time on that first incident, making repairs. Let's see how, if he's got any issues with that 59.
Well, Rick, I knew this race was going to be exciting. I never thought I'd say we see a car trying to wall ride or fence ride here at Talladega. I was not expecting that.
So if that was in real life, there would have been significant delays as the folks at Talladega try to put that fence back together. But here, by the magic of iRacing, it's all good.
It is all good. All nice and fixed, ready to go.
All right, 22 laps to go. We're under our second caution of the night for an incident that, well, it didn't take out the whole field. It certainly impacted some major drivers who are in trying to get some repairs made for an extended period of time. But we are...
Yeah, you know, that's what happens. Welcome to Talladega.
it's certainly, it's super speedway racing. Definitely there.
Yep. And, you know, Rick, I think that was just a product of kind of what I was talking about. Pushing the pusher is always, you know, the intensity is so high. And also, if the guy in front of you checks up a little bit, or if the push is mistimed a little bit, it stacks everybody up. And a wreck is almost inevitable, you know? It's like, well, you have nowhere to go because everybody is so close.
It's hard enough to manage your truck when you have got somebody experienced behind you pushing through the corners. I mean, it's just, you're basically, as that push is occurring, as this bumper is pressed up against yours, you know, there's a lot of loss of control, and you're kind of counter steering a bit through that turn, and also then on the straights, a little bit easier on the backstretch. But when you now add in a third car or more that tries to push the guy who's pushing you, all control goes away. Actually, that poor guy who's in the middle, he's got no control. He's basically, he's got to go and he's pushing you, but you know, it's he's at the mercy of whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, anybody who says super speedway racing is easy, I would beg you to try to get behind one of these cars and do what these guys are doing right now, because it is tough, especially when you get to the higher skill levels and you have pushing going on, not all the time, but pretty consistent pushing. It's just a wild ride. And like you said, that middle car or truck, whatever it may be, in this case the trucks, you have nowhere to go, because if you let off, the guy behind you is not going to notice it until he starts to slow down and notice that. But at that point, it's too late, because if you let off and you push you, that rear end's going to lift up. You're going to go around. If the guy in front of you lifts, you know, you have nowhere to go. So you get into the back of him, and then the guy behind you gets in the back of you. And next thing you know, you have that happen, where you got a car up wall riding the fence, you know, which has not been tried by Ross Chastain yet.
We will will get you a better shot in truck and once we get back under green to kind of give you an idea about what we're talking about if you're unfamiliar. But at this point, the pace car has dropped off. Cody Nagels is our control car. Vincente Guerrero is to the outside of the 14. Mark Vandell is behind Cody. And the one truck, I think that's actually Jason Maines, is behind the 14th of Guerrero.
Alrighty, green back in the air. Here we go. 20 to go at the line. So we are about a third of the way through this race, and we still have roughly 29 cars on the lead lap battling for those final 5 spots.
We can go on board, John. We can go on board with Garrett Maines.
Let's do it. Let's see what these guys are looking at right now.
So what you're seeing is basically nothing.
Yeah, your visibility is literally getting. Some guys have the virtual mirror up top. I prefer it, but here we're getting some squirrely loose right there. You got the guy in front of him, Vondell, is pushing Cody Nagels, I believe, and then you have Garrett Maines basically trying to be as close as he can to the back doorstep of that McCullough machine, but not pushing him. At times you can't avoid it. Like right here, we're going to go 3 wide. The 59 bails. That's Mark Vondell, and we have big pushing going on. You see there's a
big bump. Mark Vandell bailed out completely.
Yep, and here we go. We got some more pushing going on. Outside line stalls. And you can see they are all pushing right here. Those first 3 cars are nose to tail. There is no separation. None. It can be done.
I don't know how that works. I really don't. That's just impressive skill.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the middle car has to be as straight as an arrow. That's all I got to say. Especially the lead car has to hold a pretty line. So the guy in the back has a little bit more wiggle room because he doesn't have anybody behind him. But now, even though, look at that, you can start to see that 4th car in line start to get very close to the back doorstep of those guys up in front. So amazing job these guys are doing right now pushing. But right now, your top 10 as it stands, Vincent Guerrero, Cody Nagels, Jason D. Maines, Garrett Maines, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Aubrey Thompson, Sean Corbett, Logan York, Andrew Navarro, and Richard Elliott. That is your current top 10. Dylan C. Jones is now currently right back there looking to make a splash here from race 1. We looks like we have some other guys that are slowly dropping back. You start to see the 2 cars right there, and the rest of the field, I really don't know where it went.
Yeah, it's broken up
Kinda
into
separated.
like 5 different groups of cars. You got this main pack here that goes back to the, and then we pick back up at like the 59. That's Mark Vondell back here. He's running with just 2 cars, him in the 59. And I think that's the 29 of Ryan Newman back there. And then going a bit farther back, you've got Justin Mills and Dean Robb all running individual. That's not going to work. That primer, that main pack is a freight train, and it is going to run over in short order those single cars, single trucks actually, running the back.
And you know, Rick, we talked about fuel mileage here in race 1 and race 2. We've had 2 cautions already. Could these guys be good to go? I'm kind of questioning it. Oh, hold on.
Bailed out.
We got a car on the apron. I believe that's Wesley Phillips or
is.
Tucker McClendon.
I think that's Wesley Phillips.
Great save there. Amazing save.
He's got a little bit of help to try and catch back up so they don't lose the draft. We'll see if they can hang on.
Yeah, they should be okay. They're on the back end of it, but they should be all right. With a pusher, you should be all right. All right, here we go. We're about to get 15 laps to go. We're at the halfway point, right about now. And at the point at halfway, Vincent Guerrero, Jason D. Maines, basically nothing between those 2 cars, as we see a line of about 10 cars on the top, 10 cars on the bottom. battling their way up through turn 1 and turn 2, now to the back stretch. A lot of big movers. Jason DeMaines up 11, Sean Corbett up 15, Aubrey Thompson up 10, Logan York up 23, up in 10th, Joey Galletti and Brock Westerland up 17 and 15 spots, sitting there in 13th and 14th. So a lot of big names. Matthew Baker up 17 as well. So a lot of big names. Here we go. We got some pitting going on. Is this going to work? Are they going to be able to get down? We got a car that is sideways. He has made it, I think. I think we're good.
I think that was
he made it. That's the 10.
Dustin Carruthers, the 10.
Yep, all right. Well, this answers our question. Can they make it? Apparently they cannot. So the 1 and the 14, almost contact made. They're able to make it through, but that is our first round of pit stops, Rick.
Pretty much it's a gas and go. Garrett Maines completes that with a 6-second stop, which is pretty much average for these trucks to top off that fuel. And they get back out.
They'll be good to go. Yep, they'll be good to go to the end of the race. So we'll see what these leaders start to do now. We may see some guys tail off again.
Here we go.
Oh, that's a whole field. That's not going to work for some of these guys. Oh, that's tight 3 wide on pit road. They all made it. But what happened is it looked like we have potentially a couple black flags, not for anybody on the lead. Oh, so those are going to be negated. Don't worry about that.
So I thought when we were watching those guys come down for their pit stops, the 42 truck of Andrew Navarro, he looked like he was trying to get in the pits, but he was not able to get over. And so now you've got 3 or 4 drivers, maybe it's 5, that are going to come back in now. The challenge that these drivers face when they're going in with only 2 trucks is getting back out and getting back out up to speed. That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for sure. We'll see how they face some of this adversity right now, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough with 2 cars, but if they are able to make their way out of pit road, they might be able to cycle to the back of this pack that's just now approaching them. They are now leaving pit road. They are in turn 1, and it looks like you have some 2 wide action, leaving that truck out to dry. I think they might be okay. There they are right there. It looks like they're pushing on the apron. You're going to see them just under the bottom of the screen right about now. There they are. They are still in front of these guys, so they're pushing like crazy. Can this work? We're going to get 3 wide for sure.
And they're going to need to move past them like they did, but that will definitely change up the field.
It will, and it looks like we have 1 car that still has not come down pit road. That is Joey Galati.
Well,
he
actually,
is now
there's
in first.
Yeah, Mark. These 3 cars, Galati, Vondell, and Newman, have not. They pitted earlier on lap 8. Actually, Vondell pitted on lap I think 2, but they have not pitted for. And I'm guessing they're going to need to pit.
I don't know, but Rick, Joey Galati pit on lap 8, and he is 20 seconds in front of the leaders. Now he's right there. He's not doing much with the draft.
That's David Sheets, who just came down pit road.
Yep, and so he's the leader right now.
He is. Joey Galati, and Ryan Newman is in second.
So, I mean, I'm looking at this time. I mean, he needs to stay in the draft, which is obviously not going to be. It looks like the 15 may be off on power a little bit, but we may see
that's the 5
this work.
I think that's Dean Grobe in the 5. I think he is a lap down. Mark Vandell did.
He is a lap down.
Yeah, did hit the pits. He's in. He is getting fuel, and maybe more. Yeah, he's out. It took 9 seconds. Maybe he got right sides.
Possibly. So what? Right now,
here we go.
Here he comes. All right, he's coming down pit road. I was curious what his strategy was going to be.
It's a
He's going to be
problem.
all by himself again.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
He is coming. He'll come out by himself. That is not going to work.
Yep, leaders are just now coming out of turn 4, so
all right.
Definitely not going to work. But here we go. Here's our lead pack with 10 laps to go, 9 to go to the line.
Garrett Maines is your leader. Matthew Baker is currently scored in second and possibly first. He's now up front. He is the lead car on that low line. Maines is in the middle. The 6s, Cody Nagels on the outside.
Matt Baker back up to the front of this pack. We start to see some blocking going on.
There's some offset trucks there. Really concerned. You saw the 6 drop down. As does Garrett Maines. Now he's in charge. Now we are in a 12-car truck pack.
It's like they're playing musical chairs. I mean, literally everybody's shifting lanes, and you got a blue Oreo sandwich right now with 2 blue cars on the top and the bottom and a white car in the middle. And here goes, that is Alex Hill down to the bottom side, blocking the 1's run.
You know, when we call the Super Speedway Kings, as quickly as we got out the name of the leader, it changed, and we're seeing the same thing here tonight.
It is, and right now these guys are pushing like crazy. It's only going to pick up, and right now there are 4 cars in each lane, which is actually interesting.
Big move and block. Nagels dropped down.
Almost. Yep.
Garrett Maines saw what was going on, tried to stop it, and then backed out a little bit better. Oh, big move of the 77. Jumps up to the middle line. A lot of waggle there in that truck. We are now 4 wide here at Talladega.
So this racing is intense. We got a lot of pushing going on. We saw last race what happened with some offset pushing. Oh, there it is.
He saves it.
Oh, my gosh.
No, spins behind. 14 goes around.
Out. Wow. What a save. What a save by the 77. Can we talk about that? Oh, my gosh.
Huge. And, you know, even though you saw those guys spin out, I think they got, like, really very little damage.
No damage? Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got to go back and take a look at this because the pushes on corner exit, again, we know it's an issue. Let's see if that was the culprit of what happened here. Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at this one.
Trying to find a better spot, not showing exactly where the best opportunity here is to look at this, but we'll just kind of let it go off at slower speeds. You've got the push happening with Maines to the 77. Gets a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just watching.
Look at how sideways his truck is. That's amazing. That is a race-saving move right there. That is a money-saving move. I mean, that is incredible he was able to save that. And we saw the last race, same exact thing that happened. Unfortunately, it delivered a little bit of a different result. But we saw that between the 40 and the 5. You know, you got guys pushing. You got a pusher being pushed. And unfortunately, we got a wreck out of it. But this time, you saw a similar situation happen, a little bit of an off-centered push. But he saved it. So a tale of 2 different races. Again, the 14 really didn't get much contact. You saw Kenneth McCullough squeeze through there as well on the inside, so he's able to make it through. But I think everybody should be clean for this one. Maybe some new tires for the 14, but that's about it.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully these guys are taking a big, deep breath after that one, because that could have been way worse. That's a testament to the quality of the drivers you had up front there. They've been in that position before. They knew how to drive through it and to save it. The 77, that's Alex Hill. Just a tremendous save, and even for that matter, Andrew Navarro in being able to get through there. The 14 we saw with Vicente Guerrero, he spun around but still was able to get through with very little damage. He's now in the pits along with Kenneth Stamper, Jeremy Osborne, and Brock Westmoreland getting some service.
All right, Rick. So this race possibly could be going green with 3 to go. Essentially a green-white checker. Similar situation we had last race. Are we seeing another repeat of what we saw in race 1?
It's what we just saw is gonna be nothing compared to what we will see, because
Yes, I agree.
This is not like a $20 deal here. There's some big money on the line to be in a simulation. There's a lot of cash here, and these guys want that money, and so
They do.
It's going to be with just 3 laps to go. It's going to be 1 lap of getting around, 1 lap of setting up, and then you're on your own, dude.
Pretty much. Let's see if I can find my friends. If my friends can't find me and I can't find them, well, I'm going to try to make friends with somebody and then, leave them out to dry. I mean, let's call it like it is. That's what happens a lot.
I really didn't understand a bit about how Jimmy set up this. Jimmy Crow puts these together. Does a fabulous job about how he did the payouts, but I get it. He's paying first and second the same. That means you got to get a dance partner, and then you work together, because it doesn't matter. You don't fight for first. Now it's basically you got a buddy, and you need to leverage that and work together.
I think it's a good move. I love it because it really promotes team racing. Because it's like, yeah, you got the guy in first, he won the race for sure, but the only difference between first and second is just what it says on the results page. Yeah, somebody gets a win, somebody doesn't, but they both get the same payout. So it's like, teamwork. It is so promoted. So great job for him on that. Obviously, not having a full 43 car field, it will be a little bit less than I would expect that payout to be, because it is based on a 43 car field, but still those payouts are still going to be massive. Very similar to what we saw. Yep, exactly. It's very similar to what we saw in race number 1. So gonna be awesome to see this finish, Rick. We got, again, let's look at these guys. It's the same guys we saw at the front last race. Cody Nagels, Matt Baker. You got Dylan C. Jones. You got Kenneth McCullough actually going to be able to fight for this race. He unfortunately got caught up in that wreck last race with an unfortunate push. So it's going to be, these guys are wanting revenge, especially with the kind of money that's on the line.
Absolutely. And at the same time, you've got the Garrett Mains of the world and these other guys that are out there. They're looking for a payday. And you're not going to stop me from. They're not going to they may not put a bumper to somebody, but they're going to work their way up front and get their partner to the dance.
I mean, for a couple $100, Rick.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe they will.
Coming out of turn 4, you try to pull a slingshot to the outside, and front guy doesn't think you're clear, comes across your nose. Not saying anybody's going to do that, but again, you have no idea what's about to happen here. You got 4 laps to go with the line. It's going to be 3 to go once we get the green flag. So all bets are off. Every man for himself here. You got some guys that have worked together this entire race, so we're going to see the alliances obviously form here. But Cody Nagels is at the point with Matt Baker to his outside, essentially a green-white checker with an additional lap. So a green-white checker, very similar to the last race. But here we go. Geico restart zone, and we are off. Green flag racing, outside line actually beats the inside line to the line.
Oh, they're already coming apart. Go. Bail out in the back.
You gonna get a big run here from this outside line, I believe, out of turn number 2. We'll see what happens now. Who's gonna start that third line? It's gonna happen. And there she goes. Third line has been formed. Who's going to go up there and sneak up to the top?
That's the O3
Who's going to make the block?
McCullough on the outside. He's got some help, but maybe not in time.
I think they're going to be okay as long as if they're side drafting, they got to clear that one car. Yep, they're going to have some numbers. I like this move. It's a chess move, but I think it can work if they get some more numbers up at the high side.
I think they bailed.
Go, Rick.
They bailed. They're down. They lost the momentum and they're dropping back behind that outside line. They're trying to pull it off, but 2 laps to go. They may not have enough time. You've got that nose-to-nose battle. That is Nagels and Baker, and behind them you've got Maines and Thompson.
Here we go, 3 wide. The 40's in the middle trying to split them. They have split them, which is going to force some of these guys to go to the high side. I believe that is Based up there. Caitlin Based up in the top lane. We have that third line starting to be formed there in the 73. Rick, here we go. If we keep this thing green, we are going to be finishing this race under green as long as they make it to the white. Moves are being made. Matthew Baker to the inside line.
Aubrey Thompson to the outside, now leading that outside line. We are going to stay
white flag.
Green. This is white flag. Last lap of this event. It's a battle. Matthew Baker on the inside, Aubrey Thompson on the outside. Will that stay that way? I don't think so.
Here comes the outside line, Rick. It was going to force time. Who's going to make the block? Here comes Garrett Maines to the outside.
Jason Maines moved out to the outside. He's got the 77 of Alex Hill behind. Matthew Baker is in the inside lane. He's in the middle. Low line, Cody Nagels. He has got
it's going to be a drag race.
This is it.
Here's a drag race. 28 is pushing to 5. 77. Oh, we're wrecking. We're wrecking. Big wreck here. We got cars wrecking. Leaders are wrecking now. Oh, no. Oh,
I
here
think
we
Matthew
go.
Baker actually wound up winning this race.
I think he did. I think Matt Baker actually won this race.
At the 33
need to go back
of
and take
Jason
a look.
Maines, Kenneth McCullough. Let's go back and look.
Need to take a look back at that replay, see what happened, because I saw I saw the original pack wreck in the back, and then I saw the front start to spin.
Let's back it up. We're behind Aubrey. So you can already see just what's happening here. They're offset. They're 3 wide. The 28 takes a little bit of a touch from the 6.
Yep,
and unfortunately,
that sends him to the inside. Yep.
That's the 6 of Nagels. He goes back on he stays on the apron there.
And what happened up here at the front?
Well, they're 3 and 4 wide. Just
what happened to the front, though? I'm kind of curious between Baker and Maines. What got those two guys? What looks like almost sideways, Rick?
So Baker's in the middle. He's door to door with the 6 of Nagels. You've got the 40 to the outside, and then the 13 high. They're just door slamming.
It's not going to work. Did the 5 get into the 33 there in the tri-oval and got them a little upset? And both of them got pushes from behind.
Hard to tell. Unfortunately, the 42 tags the 6 of Nagels, who will finish sliding across the start-finish line in 5th.
In 5th. Hey, got a payday sliding through the grass or sliding through up in there in 5th. But that's, let's see if we can pull up the final result. I think everything's been calculated, Rick.
All right, let's get the results.
All righty. Here they are. Final results for tonight's Friday Night Thunder race number 2. Matt Baker finishes in 1st with Jason D. Maines in 2nd. What a comeback for Kenneth McCullough. Great job there in 3rd. Alex Hill in 4th. And Cody Nagels finishes out your top 5 paying positions in 6th. Andrew Navarro, Joey Galati in 7th. Kenneth Stamper there in 8th. Dylan C. Jones in 9th. And Sean Corbett in 10th.
Garrett Maines finishes in 11th. Logan York in 12th. Ryan Based in 13th, Jeremy Osborne in 14th, Richard Elliott in 15th, Bobby Forbes in 16th, and Mark Vondell finishes in 17th. In 18th, Wesley Phillips, a little bit too fast there. In 19th, you've got Brock Westmoreland. In 20th, Vincent Guerrero.
In 21st, Aubrey Thompson. 22nd, Tucker McClendon, Chad Ross, and Ryan Newman. And Dustin Brothers round out your top 25 with Justin Mills in 26th, Dean Grob in 27th, John Mollahan in 28th, David Sheets in 29th, and Devin Rhea, your race 1 winner in 30th.
Kevin Freese finishes in 31st. 32nd is Ray Rittenauer. 33rd is Trevor Ashworth, and John Ward is in 34th. That's the end of our field. A lot of those guys at the tail end were caught up in that earlier incident. Wow, that is just a wow.
That is the wow. That's all I got to say is wow.
So I'm looking for. Hopefully we can get Kenneth McCullough in, and Jason and Maines and Matt Baker in the booth. We'll see. We're looking for them. And I think we've got Matthew Baker. Matthew, congratulations on your win.
Thanks, Rick.
Wow. I mean, that was just an exciting race. After watching the first one, we didn't know just what this one was going to bring, but man, you certainly had a great race tonight.
Yeah, it just it was unfortunate. Lap 1, I couldn't see anything, and the race control was talking, and they had the wreck up in front, and I had a minute 30 damage, not even through turn 3 of the first lap of this one, so got it all fixed off, and then was able to execute on the pit stop, get the track position back, and I wouldn't call it smooth sailing. It really took a lot for me there. Aubrey gave me a great push. I thought he was going to be clear to the bottom in front of Cody there, but looks like he wasn't. I was just blocking both the lanes, trying to get all I could to try and get a win in this hunk of junk, because I was definitely down on speed, but able to pull through. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think what we saw in effect, our main event here in this second race was just the quality of the drivers, and that we saw that train of 2 and 3 and really 4 trucks, just nose to tail all the way through the corners.
Absolutely. I mean, these are some of the best racers on the service when it comes to super speedway racing. It's a ton of fun to race against these guys. We get a little heated every now and then, but it's all love at the end of the day. I'm glad Jason finally got back up there. He's been having some health issues, so wishing him the best. Glad that he got a second there, and a lot of fun for sure. But just I'd like to thank Coasting Thunder, MBG Motorsports, Baker & Son Construction. Thanks to Aubrey there for helping me a lot through the last couple of restarts. Cody, Jason, Sean, all those guys up there. A lot of fun. And thanks to you guys for putting on both the broadcasts. It was a lot of fun, and doing the race control. I know it's tough with 34 complaining people at all the time. So I know it's a thankless job. I do it on Thursdays, so I feel the pain for sure. But and thanks to
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go finish.
And just thanks to Jimmy as well for putting these races on. We love racing with Jimmy. Usually you see 4 wide racing. New truck package. You can only get 3 lanes really going, but we were making it work all night. Ton of fun.
Absolutely. It was thrilling to be watching here in the broadcast booth. And if I had a choice, I would be here every time. I don't envy those guys in race control. That is a hard position.
Absolutely. Well, thanks guys for putting on the broadcast. Excited to go back and watch both of them for sure. Wasn't lucky in the first one, but the second one was a lot of fun. Congratulations.
All right, there is your winner of tonight's main event. That is Matt Baker taking home the win. I don't see anybody else, John, yet in the broadcast waiting room at this point, but if Jason Maines is available or Ken McCullough, please feel free to join us here in the booth as we spend some time kind of closing out tonight's event.
Absolutely. Let's, what 2 great races. Absolutely phenomenal finishes by both just fields. It was just incredible the level of skill we saw and the racing we saw. So shout out to all the drivers tonight. Thank you to everybody who's watched at home and tuned in, depending on, if you're on the East Coast, it's 11:49. If you're in Central Time like I am, it's 10:49. So thank you all for tuning in for both broadcasts. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to tune in for some of our others as well. We have other broadcasts, such as our Wednesday night Tech for Troop Cup series, as well as our Thursday night iNASCAR Racing series. So, Rick, I don't see anybody else.
No, well, we'll just thank again everybody for tuning in, and hope to see you on another night. Please feel free, if you could, to like and follow along, and we'll let you know when we've got something again for you to watch.
Alrighty. Good night, folks.
All right. Good night, all.